What is good? What is good on this lovely Sunday, my Raiders Unleashed militia? We have a special guest today, my man Black, the quarterback from y'all already know, Business Decision Sports. So if you ain't followed, go over there and follow before we start the show. He will be live on his channel as well. You know, diehard Raider fan. I'm sure y'all seen him around. Great um, content, great takes, right? And today we're gonna see if we can pull some of our own great takes. So pull up, pack up, roll up, whatever you gotta do. Let's get it in. What's good? What's good, my
Yo,
brother?
yo. I finally made it to the show.
Right, right. Finally got you on the screen. We always, battling back and forth through the chat. Well, yeah, I'm on one end and you're in the chat, or you're on one end, I'm in the chat. So it's nice to
Right,
finally be able to not have to just type. I feel like I'm a damn secretary sometimes. So
right, man. I appreciate you having me on your show. You've been working really, really hard, man. So when I see Raider fans out here getting it, especially like in the off season when it's like the slow period, it's easy to make content when everything is good and everything is going around. But when you're doing the dog days of summer, I
yes,
have
sir.
nothing but love and appreciation. So of course I'm gonna pull up and do what I can.
Hell yeah, appreciate that, man. I see you over there doing your thing solo now, grinding as well, and doing your thing with Pizzle, and so Dirty and all that. Yeah, y'all got some fire stuff going. So shout out to you. I see y'all as well over there grinding, trying to take over the YouTube airways. Like it's getting hard to get in where you fit in around here, right? There's always somebody on, man. Like I'm gonna start going 3 in the morning.
Exactly. Hey, I was gonna go live yesterday and I saw that you was going. I was like, dang, I want to see what he talking about. So it's a good time right now because people are excited. So I'm here for it, and we're just gonna make it as fun as possible. And hopefully, this is the beginning. Let me rephrase that. Let me stop trying to be politically correct. This is the beginning
Yes.
of the change right here. So you've been a Raider. I ain't gonna even say you're a Raider fan because if you've been with the Raiders for half a decade, you're no longer a fan. You're actually a Raider to me. So so
Yeah.
you already know what it is. This is the beginning of something special. You know, it doesn't guarantee anything, but you know we're doing things right and we're going in the right direction. And now we at least have a fighting chance.
Right. So let's just start from there. What do you think about the new management in the building? Are you a Spy Tech fan? Are you like some of these guys that still need to wait and see? He needs more time. Are you happy with the last two drafts?
Well, so my thing is you win championships from the top down, not the player up. So that's why we've always had like a lot of problems with trying to get to the pinnacle because we try to get these players, bring them in, but then our head office was always dysfunctional. And then we always had a clashing of egos and stuff like that. So finally, we Mark Davis stepped out of his own way. A lot of people said he had a problem with getting out of his own way. He started to do that, relinquish some of the football stuff to TB12. TB12 and Spy Tech. I have no problem with Spy Tech. He's he's had competent drafts.
Right.
We don't know how it's going to pan out yet, but they were competent. We could see why they did it. You know, even in the time when we didn't see it, just like this year in the second round, we were like Stooks, Zoom. Matter of fact, a lot of people were like Mendoza. Let's trade back. So, and it's so funny now because a lot of those people that were like that now they're like, well, he needs to start day one. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
fun to see that, and then it's good to see that we're actually making moves going in the right direction, addressing needs. And then after the second day draft, then people kind of start understanding, all right, this is why we did that. When the draft was over, it became clear. So we have a plan, we have a path, and it looks like we're following that. And hey, I think this is an exciting time. I think people should really use that use that faith that they had in those incompetent regimes and
Preach it.
pour it into this one because this is the most competent regime we've had in a long time, and we haven't
Mm-hmm.
even played games yet. So,
Mm-hmm.
let's embrace it.
I feel the exact same way, man. It's been a long time since we had not just a general manager that was competent, but a head coach that was competent and on the same page as the general manager, on the same page as the ownership, on the same page as the minority ownership. He on the same page with the janitors, with the weight room. with it's a page that everybody is on. That everybody sees the vision, they're bought in on the vision, and everybody's trending towards the same goal and the same vision. And we haven't had that in a long, long time. And I don't even know if we had that with Gruden, right? He brought in Mayock. Mayock, never been a GM, didn't really have the say. It was, Gruden's show. This is different, right? It's different. We know who's the boss. We know who's in charge. We know who's making the calls. We know who's giving the orders, right? We know all this. Before, we didn't know. When somebody got fired, you're like, damn, where'd that come from, right? Was that a Tom Brady decision? Was that a Mark Davis decision, right? Was that a head coach decision, a Pete Carroll decision when you let guys like Jermaine Pratt go in the middle of a season when he was our best linebacker. You know what I mean? Like, who's making these decisions? We didn't know last year, right? Was it Pete Carroll? Was it Chip Kelly? We have no idea. So this year, we know where the decisions are coming from. We know who's making the decisions, and we also know where to point the fingers, right? If something's not going the way it's supposed to go. Last year, it was the players suck, and this, and the coaching's horrible, and now we have at least direction on where we're going, but also we know who's in charge and who to fire, right, or who to who to try to run out the building, because
Oh,
damn
that's
well
good
if it if
though.
it if it doesn't work out, damn well the Raider Nation's running people out the building. That's just how we do. So, yeah, it's nice to have a direction and actually know who's in charge and which way the ship is heading, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was gonna say, as even as recent as last year, we didn't know, or we could at least see the divide, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we always saw that Pete Carroll had an issue with Chip Kelly. We thought, well, for me, I thought it had to do a lot with the play calling because the play calling was terrible, and I already knew it was going to be like that the day we signed Chip Kelly. Think Chip Kelly really made this whole regime look bad. I'm not saying he was 100%, but he definitely was up at least 68.2%, like 75%, like majority to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think Pete Carroll had an issue with him. That's why he sent Brennan over there to kind of be like the eyes and ears over there to see what's going on, maybe have some influence to usurp Chip Kelly. Because a lot of times you saw at halftime, they would ask Pete Carroll, "Hey, what you guys? What do you do? What do you need?" And he would always say, "We need to run the ball more. We need to do this. We need to do that." And it was always offense related because really that was an obvious issue because we couldn't score points. So, and so it was always a button of the heads there. And then come to find out just recently, Pete Carroll and our defensive coordinator Patrick Graham said he only got to call 6 quarters the whole year, and he
Mm-hmm.
did that because he went rogue. Now
Mm-hmm.
let's just assume that's true, right? So that means Pete Carroll was funking with his defensive coordinator. He was funking with the offensive coordinator. He was the head coach, but he didn't have the leverage of a head coach because one person hired him and the other person hired Chip Kelly. So, like you said, now there's accountability all around the room. You can obviously see it when it comes to even Kubiak saying, "Look, I got my hands full over here with changing this offense. We got this line, we got these plays, and you know what I'm saying, we got to get the system in. Coach Robbie, I trust Coach Robbie. That's why we hired him. He got to do his thing. He got a lot of things planned, and that's what it is. So there's not going to be no clashing of the heads right there, right? No egos, right? And now that we know, like you said, who's in charge of what, if things start breaking down, hey, first person act up, first person get drug out.
Yeah, well, I mean, we knew from the jump when you know Brady hired Chip Kelly, and then Pete Carroll flies to LA supposedly, right, to ask him if he wants the job. All that was just nonsense and media hoax. They didn't. That's not who he wanted. Pete Carroll wanted to bring his guys in, and they didn't allow him to bring all his guys in. They allowed him to bring some guys in, and half the guys didn't want to come. They didn't. They're done with Pete Carroll, right? Those guys didn't want to coach with him no more. So we all knew that was going to be a problem from day one, bringing in, a guy from college that I mean, he had problems in the NFL. His best days, yeah, he did okay in Philly for a little bit, Chip Kelly, right? But he didn't do well in the NFL. His best days were in college, and then you try to bring that, that college to a team that needs, stability and discipline, not a college head coach, right? So, yeah, just nothing but problems from day one with that. And then you have Brennan Carroll, who was also a part of the offense. People forget he was the passing game coordinator. That was his job. He was also in charge of personnel on the field. So when guys were getting subbed in and out, that was Brennan Carroll or Nate Carroll. That was Nathan Carroll, the other son, right? He was in charge of that. So you have Brennan Carroll on the offensive line, and Nathan Carroll was in charge of the passing game. Was a passing game coordinator. That's why he had a headset on. That's why he was constantly talking to Chip Kelly, and then he was standing right beside Greg Olson when Greg Olson took over, and he was a lot involved in that offense, way more than it should have been. And I think that was the biggest problem from day one.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the offensive coordinator can override who you put in the game, because you're not gonna keep putting somebody in the game. And I'm trying to run a certain play, and that person can't do it. You might get away with that once, but at the same time, I don't even want to try to divvy up the responsibility because they all was trash. So, I mean, like the only good thing really out of all that is we end up getting the number one pick, and we actually got it right this time when we picked. Whether it works out or not, we did the right thing. We made the right decision. And the funny thing about the Raider Nation is we were complaining about that for the longest time. I'm tired of bringing in
Mhm.
these veteran quarterbacks. This is
Mhm.
not Rich Gannon. This is not Jim Plunkett. We need to get with the times. We need to build around the quarterback. And then when we started talking about Mendoza, then Mendoza is not really, he's a system quarterback. It's Signetti. And then but we actually did it. You know what I'm saying? We weren't listening to, well, not we, but the head office wasn't listening to the noise, because I'm not listening to the noise either. That's why I said we, but they're not listening to the noise, and they're making their decisions, sticking with them, and building the right situation around it. So that way they're giving everyone the best chance to succeed. And that's the best thing you can do, because the players still have to play.
Mhm. They do have to play, but to touch on that, the other thing you were saying, Patrick Graham was only, like what, 6 plays or whatever they wanted to say, six,
Six
six
quarters or something like
six
that.
quarters or whatever he was involved in, right? So my question is, how can Raider Nation look at this defense? And yes, we don't know, what Rob Leonard's going to be first time head coach, but he's got a lot of veteran leadership around him. He's been, in the league 14 years. He knows what he's doing, right? He's seen that. He's been around some great defensive coordinators. So we don't know what that's going to be. But the fact that our defense, you know, held the Broncos to 10 points, made it to the AFC Championship game, right? The fact that we were in the game against Houston, the fact that we were in the game and had a chance to win against the Jaguars, the fact that our defense was good enough for us to beat the Patriots, and then people are looking at this team and going, "Oh, we'll be lucky if we win one more game than we did last year." With Patrick Graham not being in control of the defense, you had two guys butting heads, and this defense still played their asses off. They kept us in a lot of games, especially in the first half. It was the second half where teams just were already had a lead, or in the third quarter they come out, put up 2 touchdowns, and then start running the ball. So our rushing yards look bad, our rushing defense look bad, but I don't think the roster and the starters or some of the backups were really bad. And now you bring in coaching stability with guys that are going to be in the building for a minute, and I think this defense is going to be a lot scarier than people are giving it credit for.
Yeah, it's funny because the things that you and I agree on, we agree on a lot of things, but the things we don't necessarily see eye to eye on, we're very passionate about. So that's a great dynamic that I have with you. But I totally agree with you there. Like I kept telling people, the defense is not as bad as they think it is. It's not. It was a middle tier defense for a long time. It's hard to play defense when your offense is three and out,
You're always
three
on
and
the
out.
field.
You get a turnover, we turn it back over. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it. The defense cannot get a rhythm. They can't rest, And if your offense is not scoring 16 points and you're expecting your defense to hold teams from under that, they have to have the number one defense in the league like Denver. You know what I mean? They have to. And we weren't at that point. Now, as far as the schemes and stuff like that, I didn't have a problem with Pete Carroll how he played his defense, but it was like unique defense to him, right? So he would put certain players in certain places, and they would do what he wanted them to do. I was surprised a couple of people he brought in actually panned out. The issue was, okay, so now what do you do in certain situations? And if you got an offensive coordinator feeling one way and a defensive coordinator feeling one way and you're feeling another way and you usurp him, then that's an issue, right, wrong, or indifferent. So that's an issue. So it became an issue because now we don't have an identity. Now you have a defensive coordinator that's just pissed, and so it just caused division, and now we have this cohesion. Now, the thing about Coach Robbie, though, he has a lot of experience, and a lot of people may not have faith in him, but I have a lot of faith in him because, like
Mm-hmm.
you said, our defense weren't that bad, and I know our offense will not have our defense on the field as much as it was
Mm-hmm.
because the simple fact is when you run the ball. Unlike Chip Kelly going play action on first down, and we ain't ran the ball yet. Play action is never going to work when you ain't running the ball, bro. So he'll do that, but we're going to run the ball regardless whether it works or not. We're going to run it, and that's going to take time off the clock, and that gives the defensive time to get some oxygen or get some coaching or tell so they can be told what's being seen and all that stuff instead of getting a sip of water, grabbing a helmet, and running back on the field.
Facts. 100%. 100%. And like you said, man, if the defense made a play, the offense would get the ball and they go three and out. so you're wasting all that energy to give your team the offense the most opportunities, and they just squander opportunity after opportunity away. And you don't even get a chance to get a drink. I mean, there was plenty of times where they come off the field, they get a drink, and they sit down, and they were literally right back up, right back up and on the field. And then you expect them to be fine, right? Like that's just crazy to me. I'm muted.
Yeah, they never rewarded the defense. They never rewarded the defense. It's rare that the offense rewarded the defense. And we kept saying, Max, do this, Max, do that. We need Max to do this. And even like, yeah, we really didn't help. We didn't do any service for the defense. But this year it'd be totally different. I mean, I can see that totally different.
Oh yeah, you got competent guys behind Max. You got N'Kobe Dean, right? You got Quay Walker. You got Eric Stokes coming off his best season ever, who's relishing taking over the leadership role. I mean, when was the last time you seen that in Raider Nation from any player saying, "I want this role, right? I want to be the leader. I want to be some things." And I had somebody tell me, the other day that um, when those guys got beat on those touchdowns by Aiden O'Connell, right, through those three touchdowns, right, coming off the field, the coach was going over there to tell the player that it was right, what he did wrong, how he got beat, and Eric Stokes was already over there saying, "Yo, man, look, this is what you did," and coach just looked at him and turned around, walked away. So that's something we have not had in a long, long time. You got players that are willing to take that role in Eric Stokes, who's been around and had his struggles of staying healthy and being this, but he was he's a former first round pick for a reason. So when you have players like that, like he said, I wanted to come back here. This is a family to me. I love Vegas. I love the camaraderie we had, and I don't want to play anywhere else. So, he came back, took less money. He probably could have got a little bit more money somewhere else, but he wanted to come back. He wants that leadership role, and he's already, teaching these young guys. And we haven't seen that in a long, long time. Guys on the sideline coming in and, my sister
Yeah,
working.
it's easier for coaches it's easier for players to coach players instead of having the coach come tell them. Because if the coach come tell them, it's almost like if I have to tell you too many times, I'm not going to tell you no more. So when you have a player that takes it upon himself, and then we coach ourselves, then we holding each other accountable because ultimately you want the guy next to you to want to run through a wall for you, right? And you do the same. And if he's trying to let you know how to handle business, then don't take it personal. You can't take it personal. And if you're the type of player that's going to take it personal, you probably shouldn't even be in that position then. So yeah, I will always like Stokes. I mean, not Stokes. Stokes. And I told people coming into last year, keep your eye on that guy, and he really made me feel good about that pick that we made, bringing him in, because there were questions around him, and Red stepped up and he basically earned his check. And he, like you said, he could have got a little bit more money, but then you have to start over, reprove yourself. He's
Hmm.
already established himself here, and now that's good because now you don't have an offense that's trying to test all our corners. I'm sure they'll test him a little bit more now than last year because we had rookies on the other end. But they know, though, if he ends up making a play or two, they're gonna like, all right, let's not really mess with this guy because he's really solid.
Yeah, when you got guys like Kai Blue Kelly on the other end, right? That was that was just giving yards away. He was just handing them out. Like, I mean, you want 10 yards, you want 15 yards, you want how many you want, right? So when you got guys on the other side, of course they're not going to throw on Eric Stokes. There's no reason to throw on their number on a number one corner when the other side is the weak link, and the middle of the field is still the weak link, and it has been for many years, but it's not anymore, right? You bring in a guy like Traden Stukes, second pick overall, right? You have guys like I said, Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker, and those linebacker roles who have speed, who can cover, who could, they can drop back in coverage and cover the middle of the field. And we haven't had that, even as good as Robert Spillane was, he still just wasn't that guy in coverage. And I think, Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean can do that. Even Malcolm Kuntz on the outside, right, can play a little bit in coverage. He's got picks in his career, so I think he's got more picks than Max Crosby in his career, to be exact. So we definitely have the players on the back end, and the speed and the young guys that are sponges and are they want to learn, so they want to be told what to do, and we haven't had that in a long time. And then you add Thomas Booker, right? If you listen to Thomas Booker's interview, right, last year, he was traded for Jacorian Bennett, brought into to this fiasco, whatever you want to call it, that was going on. You got Patrick Graham trying to coach the defense, Robbie Leonard trying to coach the defensive line, and then Pete Carroll trying to overmind everything and change everything up, and that bend don't break defense. So now, like he said, he believes 100% in Robbie Leonard. He said Robbie Leonard is completely cut out for this job, and he's going to give it 120% for Robbie Leonard. He wants to take on that leadership role. So there's been a lot of questions on my channel, right? Who's those guys that's going to step in those moments when you're down or when you need to play? And I think those guys are starting to show face.
Yeah, I'd rather it be a who's who every week. I mean, we need players to come and play week in, week out. Of course, that has to be like Max Crosby. This year, it has to be Malcolm Kuntz. Um, and then it's going to have to be Traden Stukes. You know, those guys got to show up all the time. Eric Stokes got to show up every week, right? But then once you balance that out against the other team's strengths, there's going to have to be some players that make some plays. And for us, it has to be the linebacking position, right? And if those guys can come and make some plays, it don't have to be the same person every week. It could be, it can be this linebacker, this linebacker. Oh, this corner showed up. Oh, there goes Dalton Johnson. Oh, here we go. You know what? We got a defense going on. They don't know where to go. If
Right.
that's the case, I'm happy with that. But as far as those aforementioned guys that I mentioned, they need to play solid week in and week out. And I think they're gonna do that. I think we're going to be a middle of the pack defense by the end of the year. Like I think I said top 15 or something like that. It's going to be somewhere in there. So give or take one or two.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad with top 15. I said 2 days ago on my live, or yesterday on my live, I don't even know what day it was, but Ezekiel Trezevant, right, from Sports Illustrated. He's a guy that's all about defense, played defense in school or whatever, but just wasn't big enough to play the edge that he was, and wasn't fast enough to play linebacker. But anyways, all about the defense. And he's been very critical, with his reports. He's there on the field every day. So, he's inside the building, he's talking to these guys, right? He's been very critical of this defense since he's been in Vegas, since 2020, I believe. He's been there, maybe 21, but very critical of the defense. And he said, from just being out in practice with shorts and helmets on with no pads, he believes this defense is a top 15 defense. And he's not one to give predictions and say stuff like that. He's just saying from the speed, the the coaching, the way practices are run, the way the defense's leadership guys are taking leadership, the way it's already coming together and bonding together. And he said he wouldn't be surprised if, they're 15 or better defense. And that's a lot to say early in camp with no pads on and just, shorts and a helmet. So shout out to Ezekiel Trezevan, right? Being on the field, talking to these guys, knowing all these guys, seeing the differences, right? He's seen the Josh McDaniels error, right? He's seen the AP and then the AP again and all the offensive, coaches that we brought in twice a year. So he's seen how this team has come and how it's been around. And for him to say that, gets me excited because, man, if he's thinking this is the top 15 defense and we ain't even put pads on, right? That's high praise from somebody that, is respected. And you don't want to be putting stuff like out that if you don't really, really think that, right?
Yeah, especially when it comes to the Raiders, because it's easy to dump on us like this past few years. And normally when people talk good about the team, and we show some flashes of goodness or greatness, then we underperform. And that's why I used to hate a lot of times when the media started talking good about the Raiders and we start getting good, then we kind of start like tripping. And I didn't like that. But this time is different though. It's different because you could if you even been a fan of football for I don't know 20 years, 15 years plus or whatever, you got an idea of what a winning franchise look like. And you can tell what a losing franchise look like because they make dumb decisions. Matter of fact, we understand like firsthand.
I was gonna
So,
say
so
they wear silver and black.
so at the end of the day, like you should, if you see certain things happening, you should understand that certain things are about to happen. If I look out this window and the sky is gray and it's cloudy, I'm not about to go out there wearing shorts and no t-shirt. I'm about to go grab an umbrella, right? Because I can
and
kind
go
of
have a
tell.
picnic.
Yeah, it might not rain for real, but I mean, it's a good chance that it might rain. But I'm pretty sure I'm probably not going swimming that day. So at the end of the day, I like what I'm seeing. It only makes sense. Now let's just see if we can put the product on the field because it does take some time, and that's why you got to create a new what we was calling that a new culture. We need a new culture and it usually takes about a year to create a culture, right? But the thing about it is, when Coach Kubiak came in, he created the culture instantly. Like the culture is instantly there, all the way up to the shield thing.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So now we don't have to play around with the culture and learn what our identity is in the first half of the season. We already know what that is. Either we gonna execute it or not. And if we don't execute it, then I'm sure the coaches are gonna grind it until they figure out what it is that we need to do and tweak it. So that way the following season, that's when the expectations start. I didn't say that you come up with the expectation, but they start there. You know what I'm saying? But I think we're going to do well this year. But the expectation level, please, people, bring it down a little bit. But don't say it's only going to be 4 games either, though. Let's not be silly and disrespect what we got going on, saying we're going to win 4 games and 5 games. Well, I can see people saying 5, but 4 games is totally disrespectful.
Yeah, I think anything less than 6 is disrespectful.
Me too.
You can't tell me you believe in this team, what they're putting together, Spy Tech, the coaching, and you think 6 games is a stretch or a reach. Like that's just crazy to me with the talent you brought in. We spent the most money in free agency. It's funny, the Patriots spent the most money in free agency last year. They made it to the Super Bowl. The Redskins, Washington Commanders, they spent top 5 in free agency 3 years ago, right? With a rookie quarterback, they made it to the NFC Championship. You spend money, you get results. The Raiders haven't spent money. We've gone into every single year with 50, 60, $70 million sitting in the bank. They're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna we're gonna see what we got with these rookies and these UDFAs, right? But it's not a rebuild. So yeah, it's a big difference when you have guys that are willing to spend money and coach a coach that won a Super Bowl, right? It's not a coach that has a track record of going to a new team as an offensive coordinator and that team being horrible. even if that team was horrible. You look at Clint Kubiak and what he's done. He's went to bad teams and made them good instantly. It didn't take 2 years. It didn't take 3 years, right? And those teams had a lot of those teams had way less pieces to the puzzle than we have. A lot of those teams didn't have a Brock Bowers. A lot of those teams don't have an Ashton Genty. A lot of those teams don't have, a guy like Trey Tucker or bring in a guy like Jalen Naylor or even a Jack Besh, right? A lot of these teams don't have a Colton Miller first round pick, a Tyler Lindenbaum first round pick, a JPJ second round pick, a Caleb Rogers third round pick, right? DJ Glaze third round pick. How many offensive lines literally have, you know, first, second, and third round picks throughout them? There's not a lot. The Patriots made it to the playoffs and the Super Bowl last year with one first round pick, and the rest were fifth round picks. So you can have an offensive line with not having guys that were drafted high, but we have talented guys that were drafted high with a competent offensive head coach for the first time in a long time. That, again, like Clint Kubiak, has a track record of everywhere he goes, he makes those teams better instantly. It's a quick turnaround. It's not a 2-3 year. It's a boom. This is the plan. This is the culture. This is what we're going to do. This is the vision. You either get on board or you get off, right? And it's been that way everywhere he's went as well. They did it with the Saints. A lot of people, oh, well, what Derek Carr did with the Saints? Well, he started out with 1,500 yards in like 6 games or 7 games, right? And then he got hurt, right? That team was way different than they were the year before. So everywhere he goes, Seattle was ranked the
32nd
yeah,
offensive line.
32nd offensive line to 18th, right? Their running game, same thing, was in the 20s. It's in the top 10s. Passing, Sam Darnold, right? With even as bad as he's been throughout his career in some of the stops, was better than he was at Minnesota. So he makes everybody on the roster better. And we have a lot of players that are already really good, just poorly coached.
Yeah, I'm about to do a video that'll probably drop tomorrow that was talking about that very thing. So now I can just use your voice as a voiceover because it's exactly what I've been saying. Like, this man literally went to two teams, wasn't even there longer than a New York minute, and totally upgraded that O line. So that's why I'm saying, like, sometimes it has the O line coaches, they help. Don't get me wrong, but that offensive coordinator, if he know how to call plays, he know how to coach around some of them deficiencies.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to come in and do what he's done with the level of lines that he had to use, ain't no way y'all let me think that. And we got a Colton Miller, a Tyler Lindenbaum, a JPJ, and we can throw 2 other players in there that's on the rise. You telling me we can't do something with that?
Right.
You telling me we won 3 games with what we put out there last year? Matter of fact, we put everybody out there last year. DJ Glaze was the only person who played all the games, and I didn't even mention him just now. And I don't even want to take him out of that list because he can still be something good if they put him in the right position. Well, he's good
Mm-hmm.
now. I'm not saying he's really, really good, but he's good now because he was able to go through the rigors of being an old lineman and staying in the lineup and learn. So you can't tell me that when we won 3 games last year with that clusterfuck, excuse my French,
No, you good.
um, we can win 6 games. I'm with you. Our 4 was 6 for me, and 8 is probably like the ceiling where I can be like, I could just be cool with, and anything after that is extra, right? 6 games ain't a lot of games, and that's not something to be proud of. And the mere fact that we have um, this expectation of like 4 or 5 games, and I'm like, dang, y'all really PTSD'd out up here because y'all really scared to say we gonna win 6 games and we playing the last place team in every division. Like, we can't win 6 games. Because if we don't win 6 games, we better have a jump from 6 games next year to 10 for sure. I'm gonna be talking
Mm-hmm.
playoffs that we win less than 6 games this
Mm-hmm.
year. If we win less than 6 games this year, I'm gonna be like, I don't care what y'all talking about. We better go to the playoffs next year, or we better lose that last game of the season and can't go. Plain and simple. I don't care. But if we win 6, 7, 8 games this year, then I'm gonna be like, okay, cool. We're going to be right there on the doorstep. If we don't make it, I'm not mad because I know that 3rd year we going to really act up. But based on that, that's my worst case scenario. Because if we go to trend with Kubiak, I'm thinking we're going to turn things around pretty fast.
Right.
So um, that's why I have enough confidence in what I'm saying. That's why I have the faith that I have. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
using hope. Because hope
Mm-hmm.
is like, I just hope that it happen. I don't
Right.
even know how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Just win, baby. That's why I be hating when they be, just win, baby. Because I don't care how we do it and who do it, just win. And I'm like, wait a minute, y'all gotta understand, winning is a process. Winning ain't just a situational thing where it just happened to happen and luck is on your side. You have to be intentional about winning and how you get there. And even when you do that, it's not guaranteed. So if you don't have a process in place, you're not going to win. So we have a process in place, and I'm not using hope because I'm seeing what we're doing.
Right. So not using hope, not using faith. It's you can see the process. You can see the development in some of these players. You can see the players being held back, like DJ Glaze. Right. He was a guy that was thrown into a fire as a rookie. A third round pick should never been in that position on a team that wasn't very well coached as well. An offensive line that struggled, an offense with Luke Getzey that struggled to say the least, right? But he still held it down as much as he could. And DJ Glaze did a pretty solid job. And like the Aiden O'Connell thing his rookie year, and then the following year, you get a new coach and a new coordinator and a new system, and you get pushed to the side. But for DJ Glaze, it was you're still getting out there thrown into the fire, but you have no competition. You don't have nobody to push you. You know that's your job. The one guy that you took the job, Thayer Mumford, he got traded to the Patriots and went over there and started playing well. So you have nobody to push you. Now you're just, you're settled in. You're like, okay, well, this is my spot because we don't have another right guard, right? Who they gonna
Like,
bring
who's
on?
going to take my
Yeah,
position? They're not
who's
just going to post somebody over there.
right?
That's
Yeah,
what he's probably
yeah.
thinking.
I mean, they're not just going to bring in somebody like a Stone Forsythe and throw them in there because we don't have a Pete Carroll in the building right no more. It's going to be actual competition. So yeah, it's a lot different, man. You can see the what went wrong last year, the year before, and you can see what's about to go right this year. But yes, you got to stay healthy. Yes, you got to put it on the grass, but just the mentality, the mindset from these players, even the meetings, right? When they're talking, everybody says the same thing about Kubiak. When I asked about, Pete Carroll last year and Chip Kelly, they're like, oh yeah, good coach, lots of experience, blah, blah, blah. But now they're like, oh no, he's him. Like they know, they see it. They've been around good coaches and bad coaches, and especially if they've been in the building as a Raider for a minute, you've seen, the good and the bad. So yeah, it's hard to say that this team can't win some of those games, right? And I pointed this out on a couple lives is that the NFL did us a favor. You look at the teams that we play, it's the NFC West. Who played the NFC the West the most last year? It was Coach Kubiak. He played the 49ers three times. Three times last year. He played them twice in the regular season, once in the playoffs. He played the Rams three times last year, twice in the regular season, once in the playoffs. We played both those teams, right? He was the Seattle coach. He knows what Mike McDonald's trying to do and, what his vision he's trying to get through. And he knows that. He knows McDonald's going to have to switch it up for this game because he knows that. Then you have the Cardinals that you played twice, right? So he knows four of our games better than, better than anybody else is going to know those guys playing them. I mean, you played them, you dominated most of them, right? So you know how to beat them, and now you have maybe better personnel in some areas, right? And Ashton Genty and a Brock Bowers and a Colton Miller and a center that can run the show in Linderbaum. So yeah, I don't see how you could look at this and no matter who the quarterback is, if you have a running game and we're gonna pass the ball 5-10 yards, 5-10 yards like the old Rich Gannon style, which I mean that's pretty much what Kubiak does. Look at all his systems. It's a quick get the ball out, timing, rhythm, and I don't know how we could not be better.
Yeah, Kubiak. One thing he does do is he set up his plays because now in the
Mhm.
modern NFL, unlike the prior years where quarterbacks was dropping back and throwing 20-yard passes and 15-yard passes consistently, the league has changed to like the quick release because they don't want to get the quarterback killed because these D linemen is running 4.5s now. So um, the thing about Kubiak though, because I've been watching game film of him and what his offense looked like. Because a lot of us have an idea because we watched him play, we got an idea of how he plays. But the thing is, like, we don't throw the ball deep. We're not going to throw the ball deep a lot because it's not his system. He throws the ball deep. It's just that he has to set it up. And when he set it up, it usually works. And so when they do throw the ball deep, it's very successful. Because, like, I watched that NFC Championship game against the Rams. And you want to talk about a master class between two high level
Threw 5 deep balls.
genius.
2 of them were touchdowns. Like,
They they were going at it, man. And Kubiak was dialing it up. So I think he'll do it when it's necessary. But it worked for the Raiders back in the day, but they just didn't have no counter to beat Gruden because Gruden already understood it. Like he said, if Gannon pump fake to the left, all y'all run to the right.
mm-hmm.
Basically. So Kubiak is going to be able to get us the ball deep, especially if you see a DT just running down the field open, like he was doing in the first game against the Patriots. Because that pass he came back and caught, he was out of there.
Mm-hmm.
If the quarterback could have threw the ball toward the end zone, he was out of there. But he still made the catch. So all I'm saying though is if the situation and the opportunity present itself, we'll go deep. But other than that, everything is going to be controlled chaos.
Yeah, but it's going to be set up deep passes is what I mean. Like even
Yeah,
with the Rich Gannon days, right? They still had Jerry Rice and Tim Brown. They were throwing bombs to, but they only did it 3-4 times a game. And when they did, they were connected and they were big plays, right? They were either touchdowns or 30, 40, 50-yard gains. So Rich Gannon didn't throw the ball deep a lot, right? It was little short dink and dunks. And this is the same kind of West Coast offense with the same style, right? They're going to set it up with the run. They're going to set up the play action, and they're going to take their shots downfield, but they're going to be set up with the rest of the plays before they get to that moment, so it works, right? You brought up the NFC Championship. They ran four plays, the exact same play, exact same setup, right? Where guys were lined in the same formation, but they ran the same play twice. Then the next play they mixed it up, and then the third play, they passed out of it, which ended up in a wide open touchdown because they thought the tight end was gonna set up a block and he leaked out. So they did that all year, is set up plays for the end, but you have to have a defense to keep them, to keep you in the game, and that's why Seattle was able to win. It was the offense was good, but they weren't great, right? It was the defense setting them up, giving them short fields, creating a lot of turnovers. They created a lot of turnovers, and that's the same thing with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence wasn't just flipped a switch and became a great quarterback or better than he has been in the past, right? That defense was first or second in the NFL in turnovers. They were giving them plenty of opportunities. The more opportunities you have, the better you have to look great as a quarterback in the offense. So I feel like we have a defense now that the speed that we can create turnovers and give more possessions to the offense, and hopefully they could do something with it this time instead of because we didn't create a lot of turnovers last year. We didn't get a lot of sacks, we didn't get a lot of turnovers, but I think this year is going to be a lot different. I think the opportunities for the offense are going to come in bunches.
yeah. The thing about a Kubiak offense is we're going to learn how to run, I don't know, a handful of plays very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
Like 6 or 7 plays, I don't know, whatever. We're going to run them things very, very well. And then we're going to have so many variations off that play that we already run very, very well. And that's how you make uh, uh, okay offense into a good offense. And depending on those players you have in that, you can make it a great offense, or at least enough to win a Super Bowl, right? So that's what we're going to do. And that's why we need those smart players in the room that their minds don't drift off, because
Right.
we're anticipating the defense and the defensive coordinator mind to drift off, and then we capitalize on that because we're going to be highly unpredictable. Although we're going to run 6 or 7 plays very, very well with like three, like you said, 3 to 4 or 2 to 3 variations to it because it gives that same look. So I'm not even worried about it, bro. I think we're gonna be fine. I
Nah,
think if we have a middle tier defense, we'll get some turnovers. Because even last year when we got the turnovers, we were giving them back, and we're not gonna do that. So if we have a middle tier defense and a upper middle tier offense, I ain't hearing that we win this less than 6 games. I don't care.
right? I feel the same way. Like we could fall into to 3 or 4 wins. You know what I mean? The ball's gonna bounce your way and go the right way. And there's a lot of games, like I said, right? There's a lot of games we were in last year where the turnovers let us down. When you turn the ball over 3 times in a game, no matter how many points you're putting up, your defense is not just it's not gonna be able to withstand, right? 2 turnovers, 3 turnovers, and we had what two games with 3 turnovers, multiple games with two interceptions, right? So your defense can't win like that if your offense is just giving away every opportunity they get. And Kubiak's offenses, right? They don't turn the ball over a lot. They're very well disciplined. But let's get into this one of these first topics. So veterans who could be losing their spot, right? Do you feel like there's any veterans on this roster that could be losing a spot, taking a back seat, maybe being, trade bait?
Any veterans? I want to start in the interior of the defense. Uh, as much as I like these guys, I don't know, personality wise or whatnot, but I think Booker and because we have some young dudes that's really trying to do some things in there
I love
and
it.
got some sacks last year. So those veteran guys better step it up because then we won't really have a need for them if we have the
Yeah.
younger guys that's playing at the same level they're playing at right now. So I think Thomas Booker and I don't know why the other dude name escaped me. I want whatever the other D tackle name is,
Hold on.
bro. What's his name, man? I forgot. I don't even know
Here
why
we
I'm
go.
tripping. But yeah, them two. Let me see.
There we go. We got Thomas Booker, Jonah Lalu. I don't know which one you was talking about, but
Let me see. Butler, man. I kept wanting to call him.
oh yeah, Adam.
I wanted to call him Adams, but it's Adam Butler. Yeah, man. I like Adam Butler too. So yeah, them guys they're on alert right now. As far as other
Let's just
veterans
say
like
there we go.
DJ Glaze, like you said, he hadn't had that really that competition. He might have been competing, but now he don't have nobody that's really trying to take his job. There's a couple people trying to take his job now. So much that they might
Yes, sir.
slide him into a guard. He might have to compete for a guard position, So I don't know.
nah,
So that
nah,
could
nah.
be a good thing for him because that'll step up his play. So as far as
Uh,
getting him out the building, I don't think he'll get him out the building, but his starting position isn't cush anymore.
yeah, I feel there's too many guards that it just doesn't make sense. You might as well trade him if you're going to move him into guard, right? Because now you got to learn a whole nother position. You had 3 years, going into your third year, I think, at right tackle, and now they want to move him over to a guard. We did that with Jordan Meredith last year, and it worked out horrible. We did that with JPJ last year, moving him, from center to guard. It didn't work out very well. He couldn't stay healthy, got injured. But even that, he played okay. It wasn't no Pro Bowl type play. So moving these guys that haven't played the positions, we already got that with Trey Zune, where we're trying to get him to play multiple positions. I
think
don't.
if you're
I
gonna move,
think if you're going to move, if DJ Glaze ain't going to be that guy, then you just move on from him and trade him. I think moving him to guard, it just doesn't make sense, right? Because he's not. Maybe he could play better at guard, but I believe there's guards on our roster that are way farther ahead of him, and it's just going to push him too far down the roster. When you have a guy that has experience, with 3 years in the NFL, you could get something for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade him though. I wouldn't trade him for the simple fact that linemen go down, and the last thing we need to do is go looking for a right tackle when we already just had one.
Yeah,
Um, Even if he
yeah,
gets his
but
job
so if
taken.
you're gonna,
Yeah.
But if you're going to move him to guard, you still he's not playing right
Yeah,
tackle.
yeah,
You have a guy that you'd have to pull up from right tackle and guard and put right back at right
yeah.
tackle. Then you have to find a replacement at
Yeah, and
guard.
even
So
that,
so
yeah. But the thing is,
it
even going from tackle to guard is an easier transition from going to guard to tackle. So look, bro, you go out your position playing tackle, you for sure better steal the job at guard. But it's going to be hard because you have the trade zone that has the knowledge base of all the positions. There's only going to really be one guard position that you're going to take, and then now you have to compete with like some veterans like Burford. Um, then you have to, go against maybe Caleb Rogers. Um, I don't know because that's presuming that he doesn't get Grant doesn't get the right tackle position. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So he needs to figure it out. That's why I threw him in there because he needs to figure it out because it could
yeah, for
even
sure.
go as far as you say. Because we really see a lot of things with Rogers, Grant, and Zoom. He might be the odd man out, and we could probably get a lot for him for DJ Glaze. We probably could get a lot for him. You know?
Yeah, former third round pick, has plenty of starts. Plenty of experience
Yeah,
for the minimum years he's been in there. He has lots of starts under his belt,
yeah.
so you definitely could get something for him. I think I don't really feel like there's too many veterans that they're gonna push out because it is a rebuild, right? I know they want to see the young guys and the young guys that we can't keep on the roster. If there's somebody that's you know on the brink of making the 53 man and the practice squad, and they feel like if they put him on the practice squad, he's not going to be here, then I could see a situation where you have to make that tough call whether you want to keep that veteran, or maybe get a little bit money back on trading that veteran or releasing them, just to make sure you don't lose, a guy that you see, has a high ceiling and that you have plans for. But other than that, I don't really see him switching off of too many guys. The only guy that I would say right now is Teron Johnson, right? Not being out there. Um, you're not knowing the system. You're not building camaraderie with your defense. You're going to be behind. He's holding out, so they say, right? You're going to want more money, and I feel that they just traded for him. But man, it'd be stupid to release him, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're just like, man, if they're making phone calls, seeing if they could get what they got for him to another team, because I don't know why he's not there, but if it's for a holdout reason, and you got guys like Traden Stukes who's taking those reps, right, taking those snaps from him, Dalton Johnson as well, and then you got guys like Greedy Vance is still on the roster, Devin Lafayette, which I feel like this kid, if he doesn't make it at least the practice squad, I think we're failing some of these young mans, because the one thing the Raiders lack is tackling. We've been a horrible tackling team for decades, it seems like, right? And this is one kid in Dylan Lafayette that is a tackling, Devin Lafayette, that is a tackling machine, man. The kid hits hard. He wraps guys up. He has great instincts. He can shoot in the run game. And he's a solid safety. So there's a lot of young guys that I feel like, Teron Johnson is hurting himself by not being here in camp.
Well, other than Malcolm Toombs, I'm thinking that he's a veteran that he better do something or he not gonna get another contract because this is his second prove it deal. But when it comes to Teron Johnson, they're playing the game. It's the game, the financial game, the business part of it. A lot of people don't focus on the business part of it because I don't know, it's just easier to deal with the play of it. And you're right, he's not building chemistry right now with the team, but it's not super essential because he got to show up to camp. Now, when he started not showing up to camp, then that's going to be an issue. Now, this is how the dance go. I know you guys seen this dance before. You hold out because you want to get more money because if you do show up and then you get injured, then you're not going to get paid. Right. Y'all trade the Raiders traded for him. He has some money on the books. They kind of want to find out. He want to find out how he gonna get his money. So of course the agent's gonna be like, you gotta sit out. You're gonna sit out. All the voluntary stuff, sit out. And then we're gonna play chicken and just see who's gonna move out the road first. Spy checking them like, look, check this out, man. We got the money to do it, but now, well, we don't know what kind of player we getting right now. Are you really injured? Because we're starting to form
Hmm.
some stuff over here, and you, like you say, it might be stupid to get rid of them, but at the same time, you really ain't gonna be no sweat off our back because it's not like we bringing in some guy we all knew was gonna be him. So you need to show you was gonna be him, so we can put you in a position to play. But we can't see that now because you're not at the OTAs. Okay, cool. So now the Raiders are in the middle of the road playing chicken. So now what we're about to find out when it comes to training camp is who gonna swerve first. And I don't think the Raiders gonna swerve. Show up to camp, and then we'll talk about your contract. And then it might look like what we were going through last year with Myers, Jacoby Myers. And the Raiders didn't swerve either off of him. So Teron Johnson, I know they're not going to swerve for him. Now, the answer and the solution is they both are going to have to give. We're going to have to give him some guarantee money, restructure the contract, whatever we need to do. We're going to give him a couple of dollars, but we're not going. You don't have a high value for us, so you're going to either take what we give you or you not. And then if not, then you got to go. It's cool because we got these players over here, and we got some younger guys over here that we can throw over there and then try nickel back. Because then what if Hezekiah Maxes come in and play some nickel? Because everybody high on him, but
Hmm.
he's an odd man out because of the talent that we already brought in ahead of him. So Teron Johnson, you dip. All right, cool. Hey, Maxes, get in there. And then we see what he does well. He might not have to play nickel all the time, but situational. Robbie Leonard needs to know. All right, cool. We about to bust this play right here. Get in there. You know what I'm saying? So he's the one that really got a lot on his plate to figure out. Because if he don't show up to camp, then I don't know. He might not be a Raider.
Yeah, and missing that time is a problem. Like you said, who's gonna swerve first? But to me, I'm looking at this dude, and I'm saying, yo, we traded for you, and you was in a team that wasn't gonna pay you more money, right? You was holding out for more contract that you wasn't gonna get. They was just gonna let you go. So we traded for you. We're willing to pay you the contract that you was, but you can't stay healthy. You ain't been healthy, and you ain't been able to play 17 games in a long time. So why are we just gonna dish out guaranteed money for you to go out there and play one game and then be injured and then we're out money? It makes no sense. So, it might think he might think he's playing the game, and you're doing this and you're doing that, but in all reality, man, you're just hurting yourself. You're losing valuable reps, you're losing chemistry, you're losing time of getting the playbook together, and you got guys that were just drafted very highly that want that spot, and it's you're making it easy for them to take that spot. All they have to do is be available, right? He's not. So if you're available, you're getting more reps, and the more reps you get out there, the more you're going to show whether this you want this spot or not. And I think it's just a bad idea from his agent and from him, right? If you want more money and you want guaranteed money, then show up and show that you deserve it.
Yeah, but that's not really how the business go. Because if he get injured, then it's going to be like, that was stupid. You shouldn't have never been out there to begin with. It was voluntary. Now, if you were smart in this situation, maybe not any other situation or most situations, if you were smart in this situation, the way the Raiders are being built, you would have said a lot to the Raiders if you like, hey, look, check this out. I know that if I get injured, I'm leaving a lot of money on the table. I want to be part of something great. I want to be a Raider. Please, can y'all make that happen? And he showed up to OTAs. Spy Tech might have would have been like, you know what? All right, cool. That's what we want. We want people that want to be Raiders. So you know what?
Yep.
We're gonna take care of you. And then
Yeah.
and then that contract talk would have been quiet, and then we wouldn't have never been like, hey, is that guy we just traded for? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I agree with what you're saying. If you was in this situation only, like I'm not, I wouldn't. If I was the agent too, I probably wouldn't tell my player to go out there either until but not if they got all the cards in their hand and only got one. It's the little joker or the ace of spade, and they got both jokers. So I'm gonna just be like, I'm gonna just go on and like play my joker and be like, I mean my ace and be like, hey y'all, I just want to be part of the squad. Can y'all make that happen? So I agree with you on it.
Yeah, but then again, man, if you know if you're worried about getting hurt, in in OTAs with shorts and a helmet on, then you shouldn't be in the NFL, man. Like that's soft. We don't need players like that. Like you got guys out there that are doing the same thing that don't have guaranteed money on their contracts that were brought in with not a bunch of guaranteed money that are out there doing the exact same thing. So what makes him special, right? He was traded to this team. He owes it to this team, and it's not mandatory. But when it is, like if you're not out there, then and you're holding out, I don't even see the Raiders messing around. I wouldn't be surprised if they just cut their losses and just release them.
Yeah, but you gotta be wary of these non-contact injuries. We see a lot of those nowadays, non-contact injuries.
Yeah, but we got
So
grass. It's not like they out there running on turf or or nothing stupid. But
whatever,
the
some
next one
do
is
it. But go
the
ahead.
next one is Tommy Eichenberg, man. What do you right? It seems like this regime is there's not too many players that were drafted by the other regimes that they're very high on, right? I think JPJ might be one of them. DJ Glaze, we just talked about, is in question, right? You got Tommy freaking Eichenberg, 6'2", 234. Um, Solid in the middle, right? More of a attack, get to the ball, right? Not great in coverage. But what do you see? What do you see the Raiders doing with Tommy Eichenberg? Is he, a trade candidate? We don't have a too many linebackers, but they have, they keep bringing guys in. Xavier Sorry, I think, is makes this team, but they keep bringing these guys in, and to me, a lot of this, a lot of players that were drafted, by the last by the last two regimes, it seems like they're dwindling those players down a little bit, little bit. Right? There's not too many left. There weren't too many left on the roster as there was, but there are a couple, right? Guys like Decamarion Richardson, who I think is also on that chopping block, getting ready to walk the plank. Can you get something out of him? Former third round pick, 6'2", got the size, got the length. But him and Tommy Eichenberg, man, I'm you know just being the observant man that I am, looking at all these situations, and I'm like, man, the players that are getting let go, or it seems to be the Tom Telesco draft, right? The Tom Telesco draft. And depending on how the quarterback situation goes, it might be a lot of those uh, Josh McDaniel guys not on the roster either. I mean, we have so many drafts over the decades that guys are not on the roster anymore. So, you know, those are my two. You got Tommy Eichenberg's going to have to prove something and show something, and with Nakobe Dean not being out there, he's not. It's not helping. He's not getting any reps behind them because Cody Lindenberg has been taking those reps instead of Tommy Eichenberg. So, to me, all signs are pointing to, bro, you better have a damn good camp, or it might be all for you.
Yeah, it's good for those guys to get reps and go back to that guy picture. Boy, do you see that linebacker neck he got, boy?
Yeah, bro, Tommy Eichenberg. Yeah, he got the
Yo, boy, got a
yeah,
linebacker neck
yeah.
if I ain't never seen one, boy.
He,
But
he,
yeah, I'm
he
happy
a
that
full
they're
on
gonna be able,
linebacker too.
huh?
He's one of those old school linebacker types too. Definitely.
Yeah. So for me though, in our linebacking core, we're thin there, and then we also have questions as far as health because I don't know. That's why maybe they're not even in this voluntary camp because they don't want to get injured. That's what I'm saying. Like some weird stuff can always happen, right? So we definitely need help in that linebacking core. That's my main concern. Like, is that linebacking core? We got some studs there now, but I promise you, the moment that something happens, defenses are going to key in on that, and that's just going to be we ain't going to be able to stop the run, and then that's what we're going to have a problem with. We call the right play on defense, but we can't execute it because the players can't tackle. So that's going to be an issue, and that's going to make it for a long year if that's the situation. Because we're definitely going to need to go get some linebackers. So these guys, they got an opportunity to step up. If not, um, give them this year though, because we're going to need them. But if they don't show up in some kind of way that's going to bring up some productivity on the field, then yeah, we need to turn to and go somewhere else with it.
Well, I mean, you gotta take this to an account too, right? Usually, you would have a Mike linebacker, a Sam, and a Will, right? we're not going to have that if we're running a 3-4 base, because those outside guys are going to be those edge guys, right? So you're gonna have the left outside linebacker, right outside linebacker are going to be the Max Crosby's and the Twitty Payne, in a lot of sets. So you're not really going to need a whole lot of linebackers, right? I don't think they. I'd be surprised if they keep six. I think that might be one of the less position groups that they keep. So it's going to be, and right now, if you're looking at it, you have at the wheel linebacker, it's Quay Walker, Tommy Eichenberg, Segun Olobi, who they brought in free agency, and then Cameron McGroin, who they brought in as well. And then behind the Kobe Dean, it's Cody Lindenberg, which from what I'm hearing, they're very impressed with what he's done in the offseason, um, getting himself together. All the coaches are, so that's good for him. And then you have Xavier Sori and Chris Thomas, who are both, guys that can play. Xavier Sori, you can play as as that right outside linebacker or left, wherever you want to put him. Right, he can play the edge and he can play all the linebacker positions. So I think that makes his job, a lot more valuable when you can play a lot of positions. So we're looking at 2, 4, 6, 8 linebackers, and then the way they have it, the rest of the way is Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz. You still have Brendan Jackson on the roster, and then Kane Sloan, which is a guy that is kind of like Xavier Sori. He could play that linebacker position and also play the edge. So I think those guys have more value, right? We've heard this regime and the last regime, but mostly Spytek, since he's been here the last 2 years, preach versatility. You want guys that are the most versatile. And to me, the most versatile linebackers that we have right now are guys like Kane Sloan, who's a UDFA, and Xavier Sori, who are UDFAs. So I would not be surprised whatsoever if those two guys end up pushing, some of these linebackers out, like Sega and Ulabi that they brought in, not making a lot of money. I think it's less than $2 million, easy to move on from. Cameron McGroin, they brought in just as a body. I feel like to see what he can do, but I wouldn't be surprised. And then Brendan Jackson, we brought over from the Rams last year, and he looked pretty solid, right? A lot of people were talking about, damn, this guy could really help this team, and then he gets hurt. So we didn't get to see much from him. So, there's a lot more depth than people are looking at on the edge rushers and the linebackers. So we got eight linebackers, and then we have what, 10 edge rushers, 5 on each side. So a lot more depth than usual. But it seems like if you're in a rebuild, to me, you would kind of lean a little bit more towards the cheaper contracts of these guys if they're, about the same level as, say, you know Cameron McGroin or a Segun Olobi, or even a Tommy Eichenberg, right? It wasn't a spy tech pick. And sometimes when you get okay, not sometimes, all the time, when you get a new coaching staff, some guys, that whether they're good or not, they just got to take the fall to bring in guys that fit our scheme. And I just don't know where Tommy Eichenberg fits into that, and I don't know where Decamarion Richardson fits into that. Having a guy like Akeem Massis, who's behind him, but I don't think that's going to be for long.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good things about Sloan. And really what's going to happen is we got depth in all these positions going into camp. And we're going to let the pads determine. We're going to let the players determine who stay. And that's what they've been saying. That's what Coach Kubiak's been saying. May the best man win. Whatever the position is, he's saying it's up to y'all what's going to happen. Because I already know what I want. I already know what I'm looking for. So either you're going to do that or you're not. Because if you're not, it's fine. We're just going to move on and we're going to look for some players that could do that. So it's totally up to these people. We got competitions everywhere. You talking about compete last year?
Mm-hmm.
No, this is competition. What's going
Oh,
on?
gee.
So we got a lot of competition going on all over. So hey, may the best man win, because we're not going to keep all those players. Just like I saw in the chat, we might not keep that many linemen. Either maybe Glaze have to make it at tackle or nowhere, because like I said, there's only one guard position available, and there's a whole bunch of guys trying to get it. So, yeah, competition everywhere, and which is good for us.
Yep. It's something that you can't complain about. Something we have not had in a long, long time. You know what they say, iron sharpens iron, and if you got guys in front of you pushing you for your job, it's going to make you better, or it's going to push you out the way, right? What we got? Kane Sloan got paid the most of the UDFA's this year. I mean, that's a good point, Kenna. But you know, my guy Dalton Wagner got paid the highest UDFA ever for a Raider at $250 million 3 years ago, and the man has not been able to step on the grass. It's just been practice squad, practice squad, practice squad. But I hear what you're saying, bro. Kane Sloan is a absolute monster. He's a dude that I really think that could compete um for this spot. Probably not a roster spot right away. And you know, I don't know how long they keep him on the practice squad. So he could be one of those cats where you know you have to do your thing and you have to you have to release somebody to keep a guy like that because you don't want to lose young guys that you think have a big ceiling and have them on the practice squad snatched up like we had Cam Miller last year, right? Those guys get snatched up quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So shit, what else we got? The next one is Raiders trade rumors heating up, right? There's been a lot of talks, and this kind of goes back to, I guess, kind of like the last one. Um, what do you do with a guy like Jordan Meredith, who was the fifth best guard in all of football 2 years ago, gets moved to have to play a center position, right? Not really his thing. And then, now he's back battling for a guard spot. But how do you feel about Jordan Meredith? Do you see, you know, him making this roster, or one of these young guys taking a spot? Do you think he ends up, pulling and being a starter? Because I feel like they looked at last year's tape when they came in because they didn't really have a time to evaluate anything. But I, I don't, if they looked at 2 years ago at Jordan Meredith playing left and right guard, I don't know how this dude is not running with the ones. You know what I mean? He was the best guard we had in a long, long time. Playing the guard position. He's athletic. He's physical. He can get to the next level. And somebody had a brilliant idea to move him over to center, and now they got him as the backup center behind Linderbaum. But that's not his position. So if he gets a chance at guard, I think Jordan Meredith, could make this team and push some of these guys to the practice squad. But if he doesn't get that opportunity, right, to play guard, and they still have him as a backup center, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody comes calling for Jordan Meredith because it's not. I don't think the whole league can be that ignorant to what this man did 2 years ago on a bad team.
Yeah, or
So
he can end up another trade piece because if in fact he has to compete for a guard position and he's that guy, like you saying, and that he was, because I'm not disagreeing with you, then he should be able to win the position. Just because he has experience and just because you play center a year don't mean you not still him at guard since you was only a couple seasons ago. You should be able to beat out a Burford. You should be able to
yeah,
beat out these rookies. Like you should be able to based on experience alone and that you still can play at a high level. So if somebody else pushed the issue on you because the issue was that um, he kept getting pushed back at center, which is tough because that's not a position you play. And and then if he can come in and really just solidify himself again, then sure. But if not, then he's got to be probably a trade piece, and we can get some draft capital because that O line room is going to be tough. Or you can just keep him for depth. You know,
that's why I said last night. I mean, you finally get some depth on this roster, and people are already talking about trading them. Like
yeah,
it's
you can keep him for depth.
yeah, the dude was graded by PFF 80% in the pass and 80% in the run 2 years ago with a Luke Getsy offense, man, with a Luke Getsy offense, and then the Turners the second year. So to me, that tells me this dude could play and thrive in a Kubiak style system. I think he's big enough, he's physical enough, right? He's got that attitude, and but if not, I don't, there's a lot of talks and rumors. That's why I brought it up as a rumor trade candidate. But a lot of talks and rumors about the Raiders possibly trading him and moving on from him. But that would just tell me that they have that they really believe in guys like Trey Zune, Caleb Rogers, right? Some of this youth, if that's the situation. But first time in a long time we get depth, and people are already like, man, yeah, trade Jordan Meredith, trade Jordan Meredith. So when you hear our coaches say and Spytech say the best players will play, right? We want the best players on the field. I feel like Jordan Meredith is one of those best players until somebody proves different. So I don't. Um, Again, unless one of these young guys show that they have better potential and it's close and you could trade him, I really don't see him going nowhere.
Yeah, but if he don't start, it's gonna be tough for him to play at the level that he used to play with. Because imagine being rated as high as you were for
Uh
two
huh.
years ago, 2 seasons ago, and then there's a need at center, allegedly a need because Pete Carroll didn't want to have a young center. That's what it boils down to because he feel like JPJ don't have the experience, and that's why he was, I guess, presumably leaking out that JPJ isn't getting the system and all that other stuff, or isn't smart enough to play center or whatever. So they stuck Jordan Meredith there because Jordan Meredith is probably more intellectual at this stage in his career than JPJ. So they put him there. So they like, hey, buddy, we know you was dope at guard, but if anybody in this room can play center, we need you. And he like, not JPJ, no, we need you because you're the brains of this thing. So then you stick him to center, you move him out of his position, and now when he got to go back, he got to compete with two or three young pups or some young lions, and then he don't win it, right? And then you make him a deck piece. That's gonna mess him up for real, unless he just really a selfless guy and his ego is very very small. And he can be like, well, I'm a consummate pro, and then if something go wrong, I'll steal my position back and never give it back. If that's how he will go about it, then kudos to him. But other than that, I don't see I see that as a point of diminishing returns, and we got to get rid of him because he's not gonna want to be able to go from the guy to being a depth piece.
Yeah, I feel like he's a team player, man. He's if you look at his history, um, when he got brought in with Josh McDaniels, he was a guy that was brought up, released, put back on the practice squad, brought up, released, put back on the practice squad. I think like 8 or 9 times until he finally got a chance. They brought him up. He got to play in the game, and then he never looked back. So, you know, he's got that don't quit. One of those guys that stuck around, definitely earned his time being tossed around. um, you know, up and down, brought up on the roster, released. Nobody picks him up on waivers, and then there's probably a lot of teams kicking themselves right now, going, "Man, we should have snatched up on that Jordan Meredith dude on waivers because he's been ruining his career. Had one good year, and then they move him around like they've been doing everybody else."
Well, if
Um,
that's the case, that's good then. If that's how he carry himself, that's good because at the end of the day, it's not like we can't use him because I'd rather play him than Burford.
Yeah. Well, Burford, at 25, having the starts he has, played in 53 games, knowing the system, I think he's just ahead of pace right now. But when the pads come on, I think all that's going to change on who this offensive line is. I think they just have, they have their first group, their second group, and their third group. But you can't tell me if guys are, when the pads come on, if guys are showing out in the third group or the second group, they're not going to bring them up and give them a chance to the ones, right? We've already seen, from what I've heard, is Charles Grant is now running, got a couple reps with the starting at right tackle Friday. Um, so that's a big sign. And then Trey Zune, who has not played any guard positions, right? Played guard Friday. He got some reps at guard with the starting one. So nothing is penciled in stone. Like we say, man, it's just OTAs. And the whole job of OTAs, like the coach said, is prepare mini camp to get ready for OTAs to get ready for training, and then training to get ready for the preseason and season, preseason to get ready for the season. So that's all we're doing is figure out what guys might fit better with the guys around them and play better. But when the pads come on, I wouldn't be surprised if this, we know most of the offensive line is, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's, different guys starting at both of the guard spot and the right tackle spot, to be honest.
Mhm. Yeah, we're gonna see. I'm glad. I'm here for it.
Because we brought in, behind DJ Glaze, we have Isaiah Jada from BYU, and this is a young man that, let me pull up this picture. Um, 6'6", 315 pounds. He has the arm length, right? Has good size, good movement, quickness, violent physical hands. I mean, go back and watch some of them games at BYU. I was like, bro, this dude is locking it, holding it down right there. So, um, and we brought in DJ Glaze in the third round, and he ended up playing right away. So it happens, not all the time, but there are those outliers that come in and you're like, damn, this guy's better than the guy we got. So I wouldn't be surprised if Isaiah Jada ends up making this practice squad, and then you have Nicholas Henning, which is a young guy, you know, um, also 6'6", 6'7", but he played tight end 2 years ago, and he was a guy that was drafted in the second round of the Canadian Football League draft, and then the Raiders went and snatched him up. So he was the second overall pick in their draft over there, and the Raiders pulled him up and brought him on the bench, brought him over here. So when you got a guy like Rick Dennison in the building, and you got a young man that's 6'7", 290 pounds, I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
you could bring this man in and pack 15, 20, 25 pounds on him and let him sit for a year, and that could be your tackle of the future, right? His footwork and his quickness and movement from being a former tight end is better than anybody on this team, really. You just got to learn the speed of the game, and you got to put some weight on.
Yeah.
You can't be a right or left tackle at 290 pounds.
Nah, you gotta go to the buffet line a few times. Gotta do a lap or two, man.
You go- yeah,
Three
you
or
might
four
want
laps, man.
to put you a mailbox out there in front of the buffet.
Yeah, camp out.
Yeah, you need to live there for a minute for sure. But yeah, man, I don't know how much time you got, or
Oh, I got time. Let's do it.
so
I think
sweet.
I,
So
I think people are engaged. Go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button. And for those of y'all that are not on this man's channel, you gotta get there because he's. I'm telling y'all, he's working hard. I'm telling you, I have to look. I look up and I see him, and then he doing these lives, and then he's even supporting the other content creators like myself. So, hey, best that we could do is go and just subscribe, y'all. Just go
yeah.
subscribe. It don't even take nothing but a few minutes. Go on and do that for my man. And hit the like button on these streams so the rest of the nation can get it out. Because I think this is a pretty good conversation. And we haven't went in yet because we haven't hit a point where we haven't seen eye to eye. But I think it's gonna come up here pretty soon. And we're gonna get to talking about my boy Kirk Cousins. I'm calling him Cousin Kirk.
Kurt Cole bust. No, I'm just playing.
That's right.
But yeah, man. So what else we got? You don't looking at this roster though. You don't see anybody on it that you feel like could be a potential trade candidate. Coming up,
Uh,
try to make room because I'm looking at Dante Thornton behind Jack Besh, right? I don't even know if he's the second guy. Malik Benson has been making a little bit noise on his route running and his play with Mendoza. So it seems like, we might have got one of them ones in the sixth round.
yeah,
And
that's what they're saying.
that's going to push some people back, right? Cedric Jackson popped off with a touchdown. Um, and the one game he got in with Kenny Pickett, he also had a touchdown. So you got to look at this man's production and ask, why is he not on the field more, right? So, you got guys like Cedric Jackson, and but I wouldn't be surprised if there's no trades this season at all, right? I wouldn't be shocked.
I
Offense
wouldn't be
looks good.
shocked.
Defense looks good. If there was going to be one trade for some reason, the name that just keeps coming to mind is Adam Butler. He played well until he got his bag, and then he had back injuries last year. the same
Yep.
thing, going through different systems, like you said, Adam Butler. But that's he's making, I think, almost $6 million a season, and for the production
Yep.
he gave last year, just like Malcolm Kuntz, you ain't putting up what you're getting paid. So
Yeah,
I, I
bro.
feel
Unacceptable, bro.
I feel like this is one of those years, for Adam Butler as well, when you have guys behind him like Benito Jones that they brought in, Brandon
Uh-huh.
Cleveland they drafted right in the seventh round, Lackey Tassie, who seems to be making a little noise and starting to pick up the system a little bit. So yeah, Adam Butler might be one of those guys, and then I don't really see too many after that. I think everybody else is solid. Isaiah Palamau, you know, I-
Do it.
they just re-signed him to what, over $4 million. I think it'd be a waste, and taking a cap hit on getting rid of Palamau. I think he's good
Can't
for
make that
the
many.
yeah for he's a guy that can play behind Jeremy Chin in the box, but they still have him lifted at free safety, and if he's a free safety, there's right
So
now they have Tristan McCollum and Tanner Wall playing those positions because Traden Stukes has been playing that nickel position, slot role, because Teron Johnson ain't there. So
so my whole thing about Paul Mao is this. Could you say they listed him at free safety? I haven't been looking at this depth chart at all because I don't
yeah,
just
yeah,
by being in a camp before and playing that. I haven't been in an NFL camp, but I've definitely been in uh football camps and whatnot. But I'm just saying, like, I haven't looked at these lists. But the thing about Paul Mao is that they have him at free safety, right? I think that's a good thing, really, because when you it's like we mentioned Caillou Blue Kelly. Everybody talked about how much he was getting beat up. I liked Caillou actually, and I
me
and I
too.
expected him to get beat up like that. But then they brought in Darian Porter and stuck him over there, and he got ate for lunch too, right? And so much they put Caillou back out there. So I'm saying all that to say this because Paul Mao was getting out there French toast too. He was getting burnt, you know. But that was his natural position. But once you go through it a year and you look at tape and whatever, whatnot, sure, he might not be trading Stooks, but he might cover better than he used to because he had a whole year of getting that work. So I could see him backing up a trading Stooks. I could see him playing uh, uh, certain situations where he's the free safety and you put Stooks in the nickel so you can benefit those third and fives. Like so like third and fours where it could be either a run or you know what I'm saying, or you might could put Paul Mall in the box. You can just play the game. That's all I'm saying. Like, so what happens is Coach Robbie has his option to play chess with these people and be like, okay, I'm gonna put this piece over here now. Instead of having that guy always be there, so that way it's easy for the offensive coordinator to scheme that guy, like they were doing Paul Mall last year, because he's the only guy up there because Jeremy Chin is in the box.
Facts. Well, I think Pal Mal plays better in the box, and if that's the
He
case,
does.
if he plays better in the box, then you got a lot of depth behind you, and Devin Lafayette, who is a way better tackler than Isaiah Palamau, better instincts, right? Better footwork all around, hip movement, and then you have Dalton Johnson as well, who they brought in, and then you have Tanner Wall, who can play both those positions. But then you also, what are you going to do with Jerron McCoy? Are you going to play him at the nickel position? Can you move a Darian Porter to that safety slash fucking free safety role? So we have a lot of options, and
Yeah.
if you're putting, if Isaiah Palamal is not playing the free safety position, that could put him at second, on the free safety. But I feel there's so many guys that can play that free safety role that, if somebody's calling for Isaiah Palamau and saying, hey, what are you going to do with this young man? We noticed you just drafted four safeties, two safeties and two corners. What's the plans? I wouldn't be surprised, if they move on from him, if somebody's calling.
I would be surprised. I think that would be kind of we're not even good enough at that position yet to start letting safeties go. So
But
I
we're
don't
not good
think
at
that
that
was
position. We're not good at that position with him, though.
no.
That's
We
that.
could be.
That's my point.
He
That's
was.
my
We were
point.
good. We were
He
good
gets
at
cooked.
safety when he was there the year before, but he wasn't a free safety. That's what our issue was, that we
Yeah,
didn't have a free
that's
safety.
that's
But we have a free safety. Stooks is the free safety. There's nothing to really kind of figure out there. He's going to be the free safety.
yeah.
Palomar is going to play more of the strong safety and closer to the box or whatever, whatnot. What I'm saying is there might be times where Palomar might be back there, maybe free safety, maybe 5 snaps a game or whatever. Don't give him a chance to scheme against him, but he could play it, because it wasn't like he was getting burnt every time they was throwing balls out there. I would like to think that this young man has gotten better every year, which he has. So I just think that it wouldn't make sense to get rid of somebody that we already invested money in. And in the event that we do need to put somebody in, if something were to happen to Chin, knock on wood, if you're with me, then we have a player where it's not a significant drop off if we stick him there.
Yeah, but I think Dalton Johnson is coming in better than, I mean not knowledge of the NFL, but athletic wise, speed wise, football wise, tackling, all that. I think Dalton Johnson hasn't beat at that, and I know Devin Lafayette, the UDFA, is a better tackler. So that's what I'm saying. If these guys get their chances, you're looking at Palomau and you're going, man, he's making $4.5 million, and you have a UDFA that you're making, a couple 100,000. There's a big difference. There's, if somebody wants them. So I don't think they're shopping them or are looking, but I would not, like I said, I would not be surprised if somebody came calling that they moved on from Isaiah, because a lot of people didn't think, they was going to move on from Jacorian Bennett, drafted in the third round, never really got a look at, and he
He
was
wasn't that
gone, right?
good.
So you get, but that's what I'm saying. Palomau is not that good either. Like, he's okay when it comes to playing that strong safety role and playing in the box, but if he's got to be in coverage or he's got to get sideline to sideline, he is not him. So we already have that strong safety role full and Jeremy Chin. And if something does happen to him, you're going to have Dalton Johnson behind him as the backup,
Yeah, I wouldn't.
because they still have Palomau lifted as a free safety, is what I'm saying. So if he's the second, free safety, and he's still playing out of position, I feel like there's guys better on the roster when it comes to coverage wise. But
Yeah, I don't look at this. I don't take this to heart. I take it with a grain of salt. I would never put a Dalton Johnson in front of a Palomalo to play in the box as strong safety, just on experience alone. I think Dalton Johnson's going to get played more like a safety. Like, that's what I think. But I don't know until camp start. But that's just what I'm presuming, that they drafted him to be more like a safety, because we needed 2 free safeties. Like, yeah, we got when we got Trayton Stoops, the very first thing I said, okay, cool, we need another safety now, another free safety, because we don't have one, because Paul Miles is not a free safety. Can he play free safety? Yeah, he probably can play a little bit better now that he went through the work. He got that work last year and got that experience. And if they bring him in camp and put him in spot situations, he'll be able to play it. I mean, I don't think he is as terrible as a tackler as everybody's saying. He had 100 tackles last year. Like, I don't get. Anytime somebody tell me that a person's a terrible tackle and they got 100 tackles, then I question, what kind of tackle are you looking for? Because, yeah, he might take the wrong angles sometimes, because playing free safety is different than strong safety. I don't see people breaking his tackles a lot, but I see he a dominant hitter. But I get it. Everybody's not sold on Paul Mall. I was sold on Paul Mall before he even got the starting position. So, all right, maybe I have a little bias, and so I can concede to that. But I don't think they're gonna get
mhm.
rid of him. And I don't think Dalton Johnson is going to be better in year one than Paul Mall is in year 4.
I'm not saying better, but I'm saying money wise, you're on a team that has no money on the books, and you might have to bring in some positions. If some of these guys ain't what you thought they were going to be in camp, and Palomau is one of those guys making more money than most, because they just gave him that contract, 3.5 or 4.2 mil or
Yeah,
whatever.
he's in a
So
contract year too,
so
so
so he getting up there.
I think he's in a contract year this year too. So yeah, man. So he could get moved on,
That's what I'm saying.
as a contract casualty.
You're
Excuse me. I'm not
building.
saying that you're totally delusional by saying that, because you're not. I would be delusional to think that they can't move on from him, especially if he's in a contract year and Alton Johnson or somebody do come in and show that they could play that. So there's a lot of players are more box safeties than free safeties. Even free safeties are more box
Yeah,
than
yeah,
traditional. So
yeah. Not too many guys can play that single high role and cover,
yeah,
sideline to sideline and make sure both sides are legit, or even playing your halves, quarters, or thirds. It's yeah.
yeah. Shout out to
Um,
that super chat. Shout out to the
yeah.
super chat.
Appreciate the super chat as always, family. Keeping the lights rolling.
Right?
What else we got? Another one. Appreciate you for the $2 holla and the $10
Let's
holla.
go.
As always, faded, always showing up and showing out. Appreciate you,
I
family.
appreciate it, brother.
Need Jamarcus Russell diet. What? I don't know what the hell that is.
Oh, he's talking about the old lineman. He need to Jamarcus that blow up. Get the
Oh,
Jamarcus came into camp hella big.
he need that quick drop weight.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. Potential trade candidates: AOC, JPJ. Only if Caleb Rogers wins the right guard and Burford wins the left spot.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I could see JPJ being a candidate if he gets beat out, but right now he's
Hell
running.
no.
But right now he's running with the ones, and if he's
That'd be
healthy,
dumb.
he's one of the best guards we have. He's a mauler, but it's not really dumb because if you listen to it, our coaches and Clint Kubiak says he's going to play smart guys on the offensive line. He want guys that don't hurt you by making mistakes. And JPJ in 2 years has 14 penalties. 14 penalties. That's a lot of penalties that's not going to fly in the Kubiak system. This is a disciplined offense, and if you're out there, no matter how good you are, how good of a molar you are, in the run game, he's not the best in the passing game. It's okay, right? It's solid enough. You can go back and watch film, or we'll break down film. But in the pass game, I'm not very impressed with JPJ. And same with Linderbaum, right? In the passing game, they're a little bit above average, but in the running game, that's where they fit in. But if you're constantly hurting your team with 15-yard penalties and 10-yard penalties, right? You're not going to be out there this year. So JPJ has to clean up the penalties, and he has to stay healthy. Your availability is the best ability. He's had problems with concussions. He's had problems with the ankle now. He's had, the dude got a concussion in rookie mini camps when he was a rookie with shorts on. So, he has problems being on the field. And I just feel like if you're trying to build for the future and build this team, you don't want to go with the guard that you're thinking, man, what happens, if this dude gets hurt, and, in a late in the season when we need them, or early in the season. Yes, we have depth, but now you're changing position, and that's been a big problem with the Las Vegas Raiders offensive line. It's been musical chairs. There hasn't been nobody staying healthy. You lose JPJ and Colton Miller. Meredith got hurt for a little bit. Kappa missed a game. It seemed, everybody was missing games. You need continuity, you need chemistry, and you need guys that could be available. So if you're telling me that, Jordan Meredith or Caleb Rogers or one of these dudes are out there, showing out the same as JPJ in camp, and they know their durability is better, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised whatsoever.
Yeah, I could say that about any player. If this player shows up and be better than this guy, then he should start. Yeah, of course, if that's what happens, but that's not what's going to happen. Caleb Rogers is not going to be better than no JPJ. If y'all want to look at all the finite things about JPJ and say, well, because it's concussions and penalties and whatnot, then go look at Caleb Rogers and his production last year. It was terrible. Like absolutely terrible, atrocious. Like he
What?
shouldn't even be in the he shouldn't even be in the
What?
Let me
What
tell
do
you
you
why.
what do you
Let me tell you
mean?
why.
He
Let me
gave
tell
up
you why.
he gave up
Hold
one
on. Let me
pressure,
tell you why.
no
Caleb
sacks
Rogers.
as a rookie sitting on the bench, and came in in the late in the season with one of
I
the
don't
worst offensive line coaches of all time.
see now. We making excuses for him. We making
No, it's not
excuses.
that's a fact.
Look.
It's not Brandon
You just
Carroll
said
was
it's a
not one
fact,
of the
right?
worst coaches of all time. He was not one of the worst offensive line
Look,
coaches we had of all
all the
time.
way up until this point, we
But
were
after that,
saying
was he?
all the way up to this point, we were saying this person had this PFF grade. This person is rated low in blocking. This person is better in running. let's use the same criteria for Caleb. Last year with Caleb, played and started 6 games, 284 snaps, offensive snaps, allowed 11 pressures, 3 sacks, 3 hits, committed 1 penalty, earned a 59.6 overall PFF grade, 59.4 pass blocking, 59.6 run blocking. Now, ain't no way in the world you gonna get me to convince me to think he can play better than JPJ. I don't care how many penalties he get. JPJ ain't gonna get those penalties like that. They've been messing with JPJ since he got here. He came in as a guard, drafted him as a sitter, played center, then come back and put him at guard, and then you got he was going through it.
What's
As
JPJ
far as the
stats his rookie
concussions,
year?
what'd you say?
What's JPJ stats his rookie year?
Oh, I can look it up. 1 second. But as far as what was I about to say? As far as is him is Caleb Rogers coming in and taking his position, like I'm not seeing that at all. I mean, like that just doesn't make football sense. And as far as the concussions, that's just part of the game, bro. I'm sorry. Like if Tua can trot himself back out there and with the concussions that he got, trust and believe that's not going to be the reason why JPJ loses his spot is because of concussions, unless he's out of the league. So I get it. Like Caleb Rogers ain't taking nobody, but not JPJ position. I'm sorry, that's just a hot take. But I'll look up his stats for you. Go ahead. You might want to respond to that.
Uh, yeah, man. I see a kid that came in, on a horrible offensive line with guys that was moved around all over. So it says he gave up what 3 sacks, 3 sacks, 1 penalty. But we gave up 64 sacks last year. So the
What
whole
is that?
the whole entire offensive line gave up sacks. And
No,
looking
bro.
at it,
Not
looking
in
at
six
those.
games, bro. 11, bro. 59.6. But you asked what was Lindenbaum's rookie season. He posted a 70.7 overall PFF grade when he lined up at center. He allowed a 5.2 pressure rate at guard, but excelled at center with a 2.4 pressure rate, with ranked sixth best in the NFL. Now let me get his PFF grade for blocking and passing. Oh, I'm not seeing it.
He had a 59 pass blocking grade, 56th amongst 81st
Mm-hmm.
amongst 81 qualifying pass blocking. He had a
What was the running?
66.6, 31st at the position in the run grade.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can
That
see
was
that.
that was last year. That wasn't even his, I'm trying to find his career.
I can see that. But ain't no way you can get me to believe Caleb Rogers' potential is more than JPJ. And just like the reason with the rest of these guys, if they get competent coaching from the O line coach, then some of those things can increase, like the grades and the penalties can go down, or the hurries and the pressures can go down, and all that. They both can get better. I can agree with that. I actually like Caleb Rogers, actually,
So
but
so
I just know he's not better than JPJ. I know that to be a fact. I know that to be a fact.
so JPJ in his second, no wait, what, this is his what, third year?
Yes.
Yeah, so his second year last year, he played in 8 games. He earned a 63.8 overall PFF grade, and he allowed 10 total pressures, 2 sacks, 2 quarterback hits on 354 offensive snaps. So Caleb Rogers played in 6 games. The numbers are pretty close, but he was a rookie learning from Brendan Carroll. Brendan Carroll. I think that's to sum it up enough. You give this man time under Rick Dennison, and yes, JPJ could be a monster too. But Caleb Rogers is very, very strong, powerful. Right, his RAS scores were pretty solid coming in. The bench was pretty solid. So you know, I don't know. I don't know. We're acting like this man didn't come in and hold it down on that side better than a lot of the veterans did last year under the circumstances. And the fact that he was a backup most of the year and wasn't getting hardly any reps or runs because they moved the whole offensive line around and they had Capo playing with the twos some of the times. And he wasn't even getting reps with the second team, him or Charles Grant. And they both came in and played very, very solid. So I don't know. I think it's
Don't
going to
say
be
he played solid because he didn't play solid. You can say he played better. He could play better, and he played enough to stay on the team. But he didn't. This is not solid.
he had
284 snaps, 11 pressures, 3 sacks, 3 hits, and 1 penalty. That's not solid. At
that that
59,
is
sub
that's solid
60.
looking at the circumstances. DJ Glaze
That
gave
ain't
up
how that
10.
worked.
DJ Glaze next to him gave up 10 sacks.
It ain't how that worked.
And a horrible pressure rate, right? That's so yeah, that
That ain't how that worked.
when you're running a zone, that is how it works. You help the
No,
guys
what I'm
next
saying
to you.
is,
You
no,
you
what I,
you pass guys off. You have to rely on your center as a guard to be able to get to your man, help you double, and then pass off and get to the next level, or take that guy so you can get to the next level. And if the guy next to you is not doing his job, that hurts you as a guard. Whether your center is, and they had Jordan Meredith and Alex Kappa playing center for one, right? JPJ at least had was a starting center, and then when he was at guard, he had I don't know who took over at center, but right, they had competent center and competent play right next to him. He played a lot of snaps at left guard, played in between Colton Miller and whoever the center was at the time. So yeah, the play around you has a lot to do with it, and the coaching obviously has a lot to do with it. So I agree he might not be better than JPJ, but he's going into his second year, and I feel like if he gets the opportunity, this man is strong, he's violent, he has the size, he has the weight, he has everything to play that position. And yeah, he took his lumps last year, but he's going to be better this year. So now they have him at the left side, I guess, backing up. Right now they have him position as the left, so we'll see how that works.
well, he's gonna get his opportunity, so we can stop saying that. He's about to get his opportunity right now in camp. So I think all these guys gonna compete with each other, and we're gonna see what it is. Um, I don't know. We'll see because and the thing about our offense is our offensive line is this: it's predicated on run domination.
Navy vet in
So
the building.
So it's going to be an issue as far as like some of our players might not have the best pass blocking, but that's going to go up because the way we run the ball, our pass blocking is going to be terrible if we never run the ball. Like if we never run the ball, your pass blocking is going to be terrible.
Facts.
So both of them guys, I'm expecting both of them to make a jump and a leap. I don't think one will leapfrog the other. I think JPJ, we all know he's going to start this year. Like we all know that, regardless of how we all feel about other players, JPJ is going to start this year. So
If he
it
can
is
stay
what it
healthy,
is.
he still got to make it to
That's
camp.
any player.
He
That's
hasn't.
any player. If
It's
any
not
player
any
stay
player. He's
healthy.
injury prone. He's been
Now
in.
he injury prone. So is Brock Bowers injury
Why?
prone?
Why was the best
Is
guard? Why
Brock
was
Bowers?
wait? Why was the best center in all of football fall to the second round? Go back and look at the history. It was because of his injury history
Okay.
is why he fell to the Raiders. He has injury history. That's what I'm saying. So it's following him throughout his career, and he hasn't been able to stay healthy with us. He played 8 games last year. He played 6 or 7 games his rookie year. Like the man hasn't been able to stay on the field.
Y'all crazy. It's crazy. Like y'all can make excuses for one player because of the coaching and Brennan Carroll, but then when you isolate another player, all that don't matter to that. We
What
going to
player?
his college. We going to look at how he was in college and his injury status in college. We talking about concussions. We ain't talking about injury. We talking about concussions is what was really his issue. And but that's cool though. We can go with that. We can go with that. So here's my question though: if Brock Bowers, for God whatever reason, knock on wood if you with me, God forbid that Brock Bowers tweak an ankle this year and be out 3 weeks, are you gonna call Brock Bowers injury prone?
If you're looking at the circumstances, yes, bro. He's been hurt every year. So he got hurt his rookie year. He got hurt the following year.
Just
So
to keep it
if,
consistent.
if you get a knee bruise or ankle bruise, yes, like yeah. I mean, it's the NFL. you're gonna get hurt. But yeah, guys that constantly get hurt and can't stay on the field and are missing games, because there's guys that get injured and still go out there and play, right? Like Brock Bowers did, right? He was hurt, he played, he played through it, but JPJ's injuries wasn't able to play through it.
How did he
So
play through it
yeah,
when he ended up missing hella games? They should
so
have
that's
never
what I'm
let him.
saying.
They should have never made him go back out there after the injury to begin with. He should have rested like 3 weeks off the beginning.
Yeah, but he
But
went
we
out there and toughed it out.
that was well, he ended up losing games behind it. I mean, like not
Yeah,
playing hella games because they stuck him out there to prolong the injury. But I was just asking that to see if it was going to be consistent.
oh
That's
yeah,
all I
it's
wanted.
consistent. It's consistent. If you hurt all the time every single year, that's injury prone. Like any way you want to slice it. But especially if you have history of getting hurt all throughout college, and then you get to the NFL, and that's your same mo. Yeah, that's. I mean, how could you not say there's a problem there?
Okay, I
Whether
got
it's
you.
your training, whether it's your routine and the food you eat or whatever it is, but it's a problem if you constantly consistently hurt.
I agree. I agree with
Um,
you.
let's see what else. What next topic we
I
got?
definitely agree with you. But JPJ starting. So, in case y'all was wondering.
I believe he starts too, but for how long? And can he even make it through camp? That's all questions, right? Those are all a lot of questions. Can he make it through camp? Is he going to be athletic enough to pull and do all the stuff they need him to do at the guard position in this new wide zone scheme? We'll find out. I mean, he's out
APJ
there now. He's right there now with the ones, but we'll see.
going
We'll see
off
what
this
happens.
year.
I hope
He
to God.
going off this
I,
year.
hope,
He
I
going
talked about
off.
him. I talked about him yesterday as being a breakout candidate. So, we
Yeah.
just we talking right. We just talking hypotheticals. So, I have him as a breakout candidate, but you have to stay healthy to be that. You have to be healthy. And if he can play in a full 17 games, I think he has a chance to be that Pro Bowl caliber player if you're healthy. But you got to clean up the penalties.
Hey,
You have to be a smart player in this offense. You can't constantly hurt your team, or Kubiak's going to bench you.
hey, is
It's
AOC
just the way
injury
it
prone?
goes.
Is AOC injury prone?
Yes, he's been injury prone. He's been hurt for what
Okay.
every year, right? No, I
Okay.
guess not as
I was just
rookie. No,
asking.
wait,
I just
no,
asking,
he
Brody.
wasn't. He wasn't. He didn't have an injury history in college, and he wasn't hurt his rookie year. But the last 2 years, yes, he broke his thumb, he broke his wrist, he got a knee bruise. I mean, yeah,
I'm
that's
just wondering if
that's
he was
injury
injured,
prone.
would you consider him injury prone? That's all. And so
You
like I
can't
said, I don't
if you
have a
can't stay
problem
on the
with people.
field,
Yeah, I don't have a problem with people's take as long as they're consistent. The only time I
right?
really have an issue is when people are inconsistent. I don't really have an issue with your takes really so much. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have came on your show because then we would have been on some. The vibe would have been different, right? Because I can respect a person saying something and that's what they really think and feel. And even if
Right?
I just totally oppose that, I can respect it if you're consistent with your how you framing it. Like, okay, that applies to this
Right?
person and it applies to everybody. So I can respect that for sure.
Oh no, there's no favoritism. Everybody, like, for me, I don't give really two shits. The only reason I care about the players is they play for the silver and black. Like I'm not a player fan,
Yeah,
bro. I
yeah,
believe silver and black, and it's all about the shield for me. So if you ain't
yeah.
doing your job, you definitely getting called out on this channel. And if you're doing your job, you're gonna get praised on this channel. But
That's
I,
right.
I've been me since I've been me, right? And nobody else. Like I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna say how I feel about shit, and some people might like it, and some people don't. But that everybody has their own opinion. So yeah, I don't try to change up or mix it up for anything. I get called a Aiden O'Connell stan and fan all the time because I because I stick up for what's right, man. That the kid's just been done dirty, and when he has got his opportunities, he's played well, but the teams around him haven't, right? So you know, let's go. The next topic is Fernando
El Capitan.
Fernando Mendoza. So Mr. Fernando, right? Fernando's development, um, and when he could take over. I don't know why this is not showing up on this damn thing, but when do you think? When do you think is the right time? Right? Let's go with that. When do you think is the right time for Fernando to take over? Do you? put him out there because Kirk Cousins struggles, and you think, oh well, Kirk Cousins, the veteran that I know you like, is struggling, and Mendoza's gonna fix it, right? Is that is
No,
that is that when we put him out there, or do we put him
no.
out there at the bye because it's a bye week and you want Raider Nation's going crazy and yelling, screaming, so you force him out there if he's not ready,
uh,
or do you put him out there when he's ready?
Man, don't nobody care about. Well, I don't, and I'm pretty sure Coach Kubiak and them don't care about what the Raider Nation think about when we should put him out there, because they already done told us when they gonna put him out there, and it ain't right now. So the question is, when we gonna put him out there is when he's ready. That's what they say, right? Or better yet, when the team is ready, because you want to
Yeah,
put him in the best position to succeed. Because if you stick him out there and he go out there and something goes wrong, or something happens that we don't anticipate, then we're gonna be pissed. And then they're gonna be talking about how he a bust, and then all them people that was glazing him right now, no DJ, they're gonna go start talking about like I told y'all he wasn't a number one draft pick, and then then we got to play that game. So the best time to me to play him is when we exhausted Kirk Cousins to the point that we can't exhaust him no more. So what does that look like? It looks like this: we play Kirk Cousins, we let him go through the ups and downs. Obviously, if he go like 2-8, then what the hell we can do? We can throw anybody. We can put AOC out there for all I care if we 2-8 with Kirk Cousins. But if it's like a situation where it's a 4-6 and we don't have a winning record, then let him show Mendoza how to fight out of that. Let him show. And we already gonna have more wins than we had last year. Not that that's some big hurrah, but at the same time, remember our floor is 6. So if he go out there and be 4-6 or something, and that's 10 games, and the next 2 games still trending in losses, then okay, I can see us saying like, you know what, we've been paying attention to Mendoza. Mendoza knows enough. He said he came to us and said, Coach, I'm confident. I'm ready to put it on my shoulders. I understand I ain't gonna win it all this year. I'm not gonna win every game, but I'm ready to take on the responsibility and let's go ahead and turn the corner. And then the franchise will look at that and be like, we don't want to pay Kirk Cousins no buku dollars next year for this performance. And he's obviously trying to work for another contract for probably his last contract. But if the record is closed, then let Kirk burn. Just let him burn. That's what we got him for. We picked him up before we even drafted Mendoza, and we knew we were going to draft Mendoza. So we went and got a competent player because even if we couldn't even get Mendoza like the quarterback first pick, if we would have brought in Kirk Cousins, I would have been excited because I'd have been like, well, this is the best quarterback that we brought in since Derek Carr for sure, and he's arguably better than Derek Carr. I would say he's better than Derek Carr because he won his playoff game and had more playoff appearances. But they're pretty comparable. But it's kind of hard to, because if I put Derek Carr on some of them teams that he had, he might have got similar results. So all I'm saying is that's a if we were going to move on from Derek Carr, I would have been happy if we would have moved on with Kirk Cousins. So now that we know he's a bridge quarterback, let him go and build the bridge. Don't build half the bridge and say, "All right, can you jump from here, Fernando? You think you can jump from here?" Like, no, let him go on and do it. And then if he can't get it done to a big degree, then you can get rid of him. But if it's competitive, then let Kirk do what he do. I mean, he's very capable.
yeah, definitely very. Well, I mean, I don't know. That still remains to be seen. The jury is out for me on Kirk Cousins, man. We got to see what he does, man. Like you can't tell me that just because you had, and I know this is your argument, just because you had 4,000 yards every single season on teams with great receivers. I mean, great. We talked about it 2 nights ago. Go back and watch that. Um, Great receivers that he was throwing to in Minnesota, the on All Star list in Atlanta, and he still threw 18 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. So his numbers have been on the decline the last 3 years since he's got hurt, and you have to come out and prove that that you can be that guy. And right now, I think the pressure is on. Right, you go out there with the goat in the building, and Tom Brady's out there in practice and you throw one touchdown and one interception. Meanwhile, the guy that everybody says can't play football, Aiden O'Connell, goes out there and throws, drops three. So, you gotta look at those situations. I think those interceptions mean a lot more for a guy like Kirk Cousins than it does for a guy like Aiden
Oh,
O'Connell. He knows the system. He was brought in, in a guy that knows the system, what Kubiak wants and what Kubiak expects. And you're out there throwing interceptions in
bro,
booty shorts and in a helmet.
bro, throwing touchdowns to the third team versus against the first team is not the same, bro.
But usually,
Ain't no O'Connell is not gonna go into the first team and throw three touchdowns consistently on the first team. He ain't never been that guy. I don't know why, but it's cool though. And not only that, even if he was to do that in OTAs, like, come on, like that don't even matter. That don't matter. That don't matter because really OTAs is to implement systems. Even training camp is to work on stuff, and then you really assess the player when you go team, when you go live, like when you throwing bullets at each other, like for real. That's when it really matter. Not in the 7-on-7s and all that. That I mean, that looks cute. Like, how many times has he thrown three touchdowns in a game period? One time and they lost? I don't know how many times, but I can think of one time he did it and they lost. So, I mean, like, I can tell you, I don't know exactly the number, but I know your boy didn't throw him for three touchdowns hella times. Now, as far as my boy, anyway, not your boy, but as far as him declining these last few years, let's do like we did for AOC. Let's combine his 2 years together. These last 2 years, the first year that he was getting played with by Atlanta because they thought they had a quarterback that they drafted that really wasn't him. And let's combine the other half season, and I'm sure it's going to look like similar to all the rest of the seasons. Yeah, 16 touchdowns. I mean, 18 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. That's the only year that he's ever looked remotely close like that. Only year. So that's an outlier. That year was an outlier. Now look at the rest of his campaign. Like, okay, we can't take that. We just can't overlook that. You can't. Well, I can't.
what campaign?
The rest of his campaign, like the rest of his career, yeah, you can pinpoint last year and the year before that. Actually, he went 5-3 last year. He won more games than the Raiders last year, um, and he won more games than Penix last year.
Okay, he
And
went
then the
five
year
and
before
he
that,
went 5-3 with the fourth ranked offensive line.
okay, so now so that's what I'm saying. We're gonna keep
Yes,
making these.
yes,
We're gonna keep
because that
making
doesn't
these
matter.
leaders.
You
So
tell
so
me
what?
a
So what
thirty
line?
second
So
a
so
thirty
what
second
line?
offensive
Wait a minute.
line
What
to
line did Penix play with then? Which ranked line did Penix play with?
the same. But Penix had decent numbers. He got
Right.
hurt. He got hurt is why Kirk Cousins went back in.
But you just got through
Kirk
talking about
Cousins he got
availability,
he
right?
lost his job to Penix. He lost his
No,
job
he
to
didn't
Penix.
lose his job to him.
Yes, he did. He lost his job to Penix.
It wasn't because of his.
He threw
Go ahead.
16 and he threw he threw one touchdown and 9 interceptions, and they pulled him and put in Penix. They pulled him because he started out the season okay, and the rest of the season was horrible. The whole back half of the
So they
season,
pulled. They
he had a
pulled
four
Penix
he had a no. They pulled Kirk Cousins to put in
because
Penix
why?
because
Because why?
he was throwing interceptions.
How many?
16 interceptions. He threw
How many
one touchdown.
touchdowns did he have?
He threw 18 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. They
Okay,
pulled
so
him
they
and put
so
in
they
Penix
use that as a reason to
behind
put in Penix, right?
behind a fourth ranked offensive line with
Okay,
with
so,
with
so they use that as a reason to put in Penix, right? And what did Penix do? Go in there and got hurt and won three. How many
no
games he won?
he finished out the season. He played the rest of the season. He went out there and looked okay. He had 3
What was his
touchdowns.
record?
Um, I don't know. You have to look that up. What was his record
Yeah,
in
I'll look it up.
2025,
Penix didn't play
2024,
good, bro. That fool was out there
2022?
talking about, I don't have nobody to help me. And then y'all want to talk about, well, Kirk Cousins is supposed to help you. Kirk Cousins is supposed to help you. Kirk Cousins is supposed to help you how to study, not how to play. That's the coach's job to help you develop. supposed to call. You supposed
Wait,
to call
then
your
why did
coach.
we bring it? Wait. What are you saying? Then why did we bring in Kirk Cousins to mentor Mendoza? If it's the
So
coach's, if
I'm
it's
about
the
to tell
coach's
you.
job,
They already
wait,
told you. Kirk Kubiak already told you. It's our job to develop Mendoza. It's Kirk Cousins' job to show him how to study. It's not his
yeah,
job to teach him how to
show him
be
how to
the
be a
best version of
professional,
himself
right?
on the field.
And Penix said he felt like he had no support
That's his problem. He was
in the
feeling too
room
much.
because he took Kirk Cousins' job, and Kirk Cousins was like, bro,
So what they got to do with
I
the
ain't
rest of the
I
team?
ain't trying to help you out. Like that was kind of
I wouldn't
shitty.
have helped him either. After they told Kirk Cousins, look, we're gonna give you the bag, you're gonna get the keys to the Lambo. But then they give you the keys to the Lambo, but yet and still they be like, well, we're gonna give these other set of keys to this guy. And you're like, well, who is this guy? And then y'all tried to play Kirk Cousins and put him in, and then he don't perform. And then y'all end up having to put Kirk Cousins back in, and Kirk Cousins end up having a better record and play better than Penix.
That's
But
not
it's
how that
cool because
happened.
he
He got
moved
hurt.
on. Now Penix got the reign all to himself, and I promise you, he's still gonna be garbage. They're gonna be garbage. I promise you that. I promise you, Kirk Cousins gonna have a better season than Penix this year. And we got the ranked 32nd line or whatever y'all want to put it, wherever y'all want to put it. So it'll all play out. And we'll have this conversation next year. And I'll be saying, remember I told y'all that about that last year? Because y'all was looking at it this way when really that's not the situation. That wasn't the situation there. The situation here is different because when they went to Kirk Cousins, it was like, hey, look, check this out. We're going to go get a quarterback. They didn't go get a quarterback behind his back. They told him. And Kirk Cousins was like, cool. This goes the best player wins. The best player plays because he know in his mind there's no way there should be a rookie that comes in and play in this system better than him. And if he does, he needs to retire. He knows that.
There have been plenty of rookies that came out and beat veterans.
No, we talk about this system with this regime because y'all gonna start talking about Matt Schaub and y'all don't even know. A lot of y'all don't even remember Matt Schaub.
Yeah, I remember Matt Schaub. He had one good year, and they went and got him. Just like Matt Flynn had one good year, and Seattle went and got him. I know all
And they
about it.
got him because he threw 5 touchdowns against us one game.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. I think that the best time to bring in Fernando is when we've exhausted Cousin, and when there's a point of no return of diminishing returns, and that doesn't mean losing 2 games in a row or losing 3 games. Now, if we only got 2 wins and like 6 losses, and then we mess around and lose another game or two, then yeah, I can see that. 2-8, yeah.
So you're
Two
willing
and
to
eight, take Kirk
so
Cousin out at
so
two and eight.
if we're losing because of the quarterback play, you're willing to just let it ride it out to we're two
What
and
do you mean
six or
because of the quarterback
two and
play?
eight. I'm saying if it's because of quarterback play, if the quarterback play is the reason we're struggling and not winning games, if our defense is good, if our O line is good, if our run game is solid, and we're losing games because of quarterback play,
That's a lot of
interceptions,
ifs.
incompetent, right? Well, I mean, okay, so say they are. We won't just if it. Our defense is going to be good. It's going to be better. Our offensive line is going to be better. Our running game is going to be better. What if our passing game is not better?
When Kirk Cousins go out there and look like a shell of himself, then yeah, pull him.
But then who do you put in
You put in Fernando.
If Mendoza's not ready? Who do you do? What are
No,
you
see
doing there?
now here's another if he so
Because
throw in AOC and
because
he'll be ready in 3 weeks because AOC only gonna play 3 games. So Fernando, you're on notice. We're gonna put Aiden O'Connell in, but just know you're gonna start before the end of this season because Aiden is not gonna play more than 4 games. He ain't, I promise you, because he's injury prone. So if we go 2-8, there's 7 games left. So guess what? You're gonna start the last 3 or 4 games. So get ready. I don't care if you're ready or not. You're the number one pick. We've exhausted all our quarterbacks. So you gotta play. There's no other choice. But AOC ain't playing over Mendoza unless Mendoza just ain't gonna play all this year. But that don't make sense because AOC can't play a full season at all by itself. Like I doubt if he can play a half a season by himself. So
I don't know. He played 11 games his rookie year just fine.
yeah, but he haven't played full season since. Like he got injured 2 years in a row. Like we just went over that. He's injury prone.
He got a knee bruise. He played the next. He played the next week. They say
Whatever it is,
they
he
said
injury
two to
prone.
4 weeks. He played the following, and then he broke his wrist on a helmet throwing a pass because we ain't got no offensive line, no
No,
protection. So
when you
yeah, I
hit
mean
your
that's
hand on a
injuries
quarterback helmet, that ain't because of offensive line weak. If you hit your hand on the helmet,
on a
that just
on a
happens.
on a offensive on your own offensive lineman getting pushed
Yes,
into
that
you.
happens all the time at quarterback. What do you mean?
That's not a weak offensive line if you're throwing the
No,
ball
that's
and your offensive line is pushed into you
bro. I'm not
and you hit
saying
his
if
helmet. I'm saying
bro. I'm
what?
not. That happens all the time, even to the best players. A quarterback can step up in a pocket and throw the ball and still hit his player helmet. Like it happens. That ain't something. That's not even really a reflection of either player. Because if that's the case, I could say, well, why didn't you clear the center before you threw the ball in? Like you ain't paying attention to your pocket. Your pocket presence is terrible. Like why are you all up on the center, even if he is getting pushed back? That means he's supposed to slide to the right or slide to the left, a half a step, but
Not
probably to the
not
right if you're a right-handed
if
quarterback.
you're cocked back and in motion and ready to throw, and the dude gets shoved into your face, so you're
Well, it
supposed
don't
to
happen.
stop.
That's
You stop the mid throw, like he was in the throwing motion.
okay.
It
So
was
so so
in a throwing motion.
between here and here, he got blown back like a whole couple feet, right? That's what you're
Yeah,
telling me?
yeah.
Yeah, all right.
It was like 5 steps in a half a second. He just
Yeah,
got
that
bull
ain't,
rushed
that ain't how that happens.
completely into the man, completely.
Players, quarterbacks hit player helmets all the time. I've done it before. Like I ain't break my hand though.
Um,
Usually you don't break your hand when that happens. Usually you do jack it up, it'll swell up, but you still can play with it, or you be out of game maybe. But this boy was out for like the whole season except for the last game over
actually,
that.
it was supposed to be 6 to 8 weeks he was out, and he was back ready to go in 4 ahead of
Okay, let's get.
schedule, and they kept him on injured reserve because they traded for Kenny Pickett, and they didn't have nowhere to
So what
put
does
him.
that mean? He's garbage. So not only did you not come back, they told you don't come back, but they go get this other weak quarterback. Come on, man. That don't even make sense. Like I
How
get
does
it
it
though.
not make
Like I
sense?
said,
You
four
trade
four
a fifth
weeks.
round pick for a quarterback. You're gonna
I
bring in
don't.
a guy that was that was your second string back, after injury and let him play. Like at that point, you're pretty much stuck with Kenny Pickett, and we know damn well Pete Carroll did not want Aiden O'Connell playing. He was asked about Aiden O'Connell all year. Oh yeah, he'll get his opportunity. He'll get his opportunity. We know he was down better than Geno out there. He can get rid of the ball
No, he
faster.
didn't.
Bullshit. He can get rid of the ball way faster. His time to throw. Look this up. Look up a stat. Time to throw. Aiden O'Connell, 2.67 seconds. That is fourth best in the NFL. Fourth
So
best in
why
the
can't he
NFL.
win games? Why can't he win games then?
Offensive line, defense, no
Oh,
running
so
game,
it's
horrible
everybody's fault
coaching.
but Aiden O'Connell's.
Well,
It's
this is what I
everybody's
mean.
fault but Aiden
Everybody has
O'Connell.
the same mentality. Is you just said, "Oh, but we don't do this with one player, but we do it with another player."
No,
You
I'm
just said
asking you.
players were bad because of coaching, but Aiden O'Connell can't be bad because of coaching and bad offensive
No,
line.
he's just bad, bro. He's just
How?
bad.
How is it good?
Sorry.
When's it bad?
He's
What's
he's
bad?
he's
What's
bad.
bad? You got 22 touchdowns and 11
Bro,
interceptions.
the
You
best
played in
season he
17
had, he was
games.
5-5,
He played in
right?
17 games. His rookie season, he was 5-4 as a starter. One of those games he
He
didn't
was
start. He
5-5.
came in. He was 5-4 as a starter. He was 5-5 to finish the season.
All
But the
right.
game
Then
was
he
a
ended up
credit to
what?
him
2 and
because
what?
Brian Hoyer got taken out right away. So he was five and
Then
four.
what was
He
the
took
next year? He was 2 and what?
he didn't play. He didn't play. They put in Gardner Minshew the whole season. Gardner
Bro,
Minshew
come
they took
on,
out.
man. We
He
went
played
over this
half a
last night,
quarter with
bro.
the Rams and injured his thumb.
Bro, we went
He
over
didn't
this
play.
last night.
He didn't
Aiden
play.
O'Connell, bro, we went over this last night, bro. Aiden O'Connell record
Bro, you can't sit
last
here
year
as a
was
quarterback and claim that you're a quarterback and tell me Aiden O'Connell is trash with what
he
he's
is,
done
bro.
on this garbage ass team
Bro,
that he's been on.
bro.
No offense,
Let me
no
tell you
running
why he's
game,
garbage.
no
Let me tell you why he's
receiver,
garbage.
no
You ain't
head
even gotta
coach,
be a quarterback to
bad
get this. I'm gonna
coaching.
tell you why he's garbage. You ain't
Go
even
off.
gotta be a quarterback to get this. You're a backup quarterback, right? So then you're a backup quarterback, but you're supposed to be better than this starter that has played many seasons that played the full season. You've yet to do it
Yep.
yet, but you're better than this guy, right? But
Yep.
so for some reason, they draft a quarterback over you. They bring in
No,
a
not
better
no,
quarterback over
not
you.
not
So
for some
you
reason.
go from being better than Geno Smith to now you're the third string quarterback, which is the scout team quarterback, right?
No,
And then
no.
when you do get hurt, they
Come on,
bring in
bro.
another
No,
quarterback
that's not
and
how that
tell you to
works.
stay hurt. But yet
No,
you're this
no,
good, but everybody hating on
no,
you.
no, no, no,
Everybody's hating
no,
on you though. They
no.
done drafted like three quarterbacks in front of you.
Yes, yes. You
But
want me
he's
to
good.
explain? Do you want me to explain?
Yeah, got you. Go ahead.
Aiden O'Connell would have been the starter the following year with AP. They decided to get rid of Chip Kelly or Champ Kelly, and they brought in Tom Telesco, right? They brought in Tom Telesco. Tom Telesco didn't look at no film with Aiden O'Connell or look at Aiden O'Connell. He said, I'm the general manager, and I'm not putting my season on a rookie guy. I'm bringing in Gardner Minshew. Now, AP even said afterwards, they had a meeting with whoever the hell it was, Luke Getsy, AP, and Tom Telesco. AP wanted AOC from what he done. AOC is the reason AP got the job the following year. The kid came out and won games. He beat the Chiefs. He beat the Chargers. He beat the Broncos. He almost got us in the playoffs. We were one win away from getting in the playoffs
You beat the Chiefs, bro.
because of bad calls.
You beat
Don't
the
even
Chiefs, bro.
did he turn the ball over?
Five. Wait a
What
minute.
is a what is a
Wait.
quarter
Hold on.
what is
Hold
a
on.
quarter
Hold on. Wait a
what is
minute.
a quarterback's
Wait a minute.
job? What is a quarterback's job? Manage a
Wait a
game.
minute. Wait. So
68
you
yards or
telling
not.
me? Hold on. Wait a minute. So you telling me AOC beat the Chiefs when we kicked 5 field goals against the third string team, which you use that same measuring uh for Kirk Cousins, but
Mhm.
we kicked 5 field goals and he threw for what 102 yards in one game that he won and 67 yards in the other game. And you telling me the reason why we won was because Aiden O'Connell was good. That's
Did he
what you're
not?
telling me?
Did he turn the ball over? He did what he
No,
needed
I'm
to
asking.
do.
I'm just saying. Are you
Yes,
saying we
yes, he
won
was
because he's
good. He
good?
had he had 68 yards, big deal. But he also had 3 drives. That one was a missed field goal by Daniel Carlson. The other one, I don't know what happened, but we drove the ball decent drives. Yes, they had a run game, and you can't tell me that you can blame a
67
quarterback
yards, bro.
for his record, but when
67 yards.
it doesn't matter.
67
He's the
yards.
winning quarterback. You just put all the losses on him
No, I didn't put
because
all
of
the losses on
yes,
him. No, I didn't.
you said he was 5-5. He's only
And
7
he
and
was
10.
2-5.
You're putting all
No,
the
the reason why
no,
I
you
said
put
that,
all the losses on him.
no, I didn't.
You
No, I
said it was
didn't.
you said
You're
what's his record?
misrepresenting what I'm
No,
saying.
I
No,
said they had a bad team, and you said, oh, so now we're making excuses, right?
you went on and you blame the O line, the coach, the offensive coordinator. You blame everybody, right? But the thing about it is, he went 2-5 that year. And in that same year, didn't other quarterbacks play too? Didn't they? Yeah. So everybody was playing with the same team. Yeah, granted that maybe this coach got fired in the middle of the year, whatever, the team was bad. The team was bad for both players. And 2-5 is not something to be saying that you're a good quarterback if you're a backup and then you can't finish seasons.
Um,
You can't play a whole season
when you win
because
three,
when
when
Geno
you go
Smith
two
is
and five and you only
I'm
win three
almost done.
games,
Hold on. Let me land this. I'm almost done. Because when Geno Smith got hurt and he did come in, he had a chance to keep the position for the rest of the year. But the reason why he didn't, because he got injured. I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback or he's not good, but I'm not saying he's terrible. What I'm saying is you can't play a whole season. And even when you show little flashes, you're 500 at your best and you're 2-5 and you're supposed to be better than Geno, which he did get more wins than Geno. Because I'll give him that credit because he was the starting quarterback. But we know damn well when he was playing against Kansas City, there wasn't no Patrick Mahomes. So don't say
but
he beat the Chiefs
he
because
did.
he didn't even play the Chiefs.
He did beat the Chiefs. He's beat the Chiefs twice. He's
Right.
beat the Chiefs twice.
Yeah.
He has
Throwing for
he has more
67
wins.
yards and
He has
102
more.
yards, he beat him.
He has more wins in our division than any
That's
quarterback we brought in
crazy.
as Derek Carr.
That's crazy. So he's better than Derek Carr now.
He has more wins in our division than every quarterback
So
since
he's
Derek.
better than Derek Carr now.
Who said that? He has
You
more
just said
wins.
he got more wins in the division.
Since Derek Carr, he has more wins combined than all the quarterbacks that we've brought in since Derek
he ain't
Carr
better
in
than
our
none of them.
division. He has more
He ain't
wins in
better
our
than none of
division
them,
than
bro.
all those quarterbacks put together,
And he
bro.
ain't better than none of them.
He is better than all of them. The
No,
kid
he
can
ain't.
read
He
defense.
better than Geno Smith.
All right, check this out. Check this
He
out.
better than Geno Smith.
Check this out.
No, I'm just asking, is he better quarterback than Geno Smith?
Way better quarterback than Geno Smith.
Okay, I rest. The defense rests.
Way
The
better
defense
quarterback
rests.
than Geno Smith.
Well, why Geno Smith
He
get another
started-
starting
he
job in
started in
AOC, the third string
He
quarterback?
started in the
Why
preseason.
Geno Smith got a starting position in AOC, the third string quarterback? Why is that?
He ain't gonna be. He might not even be started through the season.
No, he got a
because of
job.
his name,
He got a starting
because of
position right now.
because of Pete Carroll in his name.
No, I'm talking about why he's starting for the Jets.
Because
You
of
think
Pete Carroll in
AOC?
his
You think
name.
what team can AOC start for right now?
I don't know what team he can start for. There's probably a lot of teams he can start for.
Nobody.
Given the opportunity, there's probably a lot of teams he
Nobody.
can start for. There's a lot of teams. I feel he's better than a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah, you think he's better than the proven starters, and he ain't even playing a full season in his career. Now I don't know how you can get to that point.
But I'm gonna show you right now. I'll show you right now.
Hey man, y'all gotta be enjoying this content, man. Hit them thumbs up, man. Y'all gotta love this content, man.
Look. So this is Aiden O'Connell, right? This is next gen stats, right? Next gen stats. For the garbage quarterback, league average is 88 flat, right? Passes behind the line of scrimmage. Aiden O'Connell is 86.8. In the center of the field, right? League average is 89.9. He's 79.2 behind the line of scrimmage. On the left side of the field, league average is 89.9. Aiden O'Connell is 86.7. Then we go between 5 and 10 yards. On the right side of the field, this garbage quarterback, league average is 87.7. Aiden O'Connell's 116.5. Garbage. In the middle of the field, league average from line of scrimmage to 10 yards. League average is 90. He's a 72.9, right? From 5 to 10 yards on the left side of the field, league average is 90. He's a 82.1. Then we jump up 10 from plays from 10 to 20 yards, right? League average is 78.9. Aiden O'Connell is a 95. Then we go to the next level in the middle of the field from 10 to 20 yards. League average is 85.7. He's a 66.4. Obviously, the middle of the field is his downfall, but the middle of the field is where all his interceptions have come from tip balls. So those numbers are going to go down. Not making excuses. It's fact. It's a stat. We can look that up as well. But then when we get to the from 10 to 20 yards, right? League average is 84.9. Aiden O'Connell, 96.8. That's 10 to 20 yards on the left side of the field. Then when we get from plays 20, and this is next gen stats, NFL.com. Then when we get from 20 yards and above, league average is 80.2. I think 80.2. Aiden O'Connell is 80.2. Middle of the field, league average is 83.1. He's a 39.6. That's bad. It's got to be cleaned up. But then you go to the right side of the field, plays over 20 yards. League average is 79.2. Aiden O'Connell is an elite 128.8. Elite 128.8.
So my question to you is, why he ain't playing nowhere?
Because I keep trying to tell everybody this. When you have a new head coach, the guy that's not playing gets shuffled to the back. They bring in their head coach. What did Geno Smith or what did Tom Telesco do? He brought in Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew making $24 million a year. They're not going to start Aiden O'Connell making $1.3 million if he's better or not and risk their first job as a Raider GM. That's why they brought in Gardner Minshew. Now, he made the mistake. It cost him his job by not playing Gardner Minshew. The year after that, they bring in.
Why he lost his job?
That's why he lost his job.
Not why he lost his job. They would have
won.
coach.
they would have won way more games with Aiden
Oh, he
O'Connell. I
can't coach. He
guarantee you.
couldn't.
I guarantee you, they
His
would have
clock
won more
management was
games.
even terrible.
They would
So
have won more games with Aiden O'Connell than they did with Gardner Minshew,
maybe.
even with the bad offensive
Okay,
line. But let me
I'll
finish.
maybe concede
Let
to
me
that.
finish. Then the following year, you bring in Pete Carroll. He brings in a $73 million quarterback that we trade a third round pick
73.
for. A $73 million. That would have been his contract. That's what he was brought in for if he would have finished out his career. So they bring him in for 3 years, $73 million, and they trade a third round pick for him. So you're telling me you could stand here and look at me in the face and say, if you was a GM and you traded a third round pick and paid a guy $32 million, if you had a man that was making 1.4 and he beat that man out and was playing better than him, that you would look stupid enough to play that $1.3 million and look like a dumbass in front of the whole entire world from bringing this dude in and paying him all this money. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
let me answer it. Can I answer it?
But let me finish. So you can't tell me, I'm telling you why they don't play him. You had a guy that had never called plays before in Bo Hardegree, and Aiden O'Connell still went 5-4, put up 9 touchdowns and 1 interception in his last 6 games as a rookie with a guy named Bo Hardegree that was a quarterback coach that had never called plays in his life. He turned the offense around. They had a running game because of Aiden O'Connell. They had a passing game behind Aiden O'Connell. Devontae Adams even said, when Aiden O'Connell figures out who he is and this man comes into himself, he's going to be dangerous. Then when they went with Gardner Minshew, Devontae Adams said, "I want out. I'm out. Like there's no way I'm playing with Gardner Minshew." It was we all know that's what happened. So
we all know that.
Then you have the following year they bring in Luke Getsy. He makes it not even 6 games. They go to Scott Turner, right? Then when the Turners came in, they're like, let's play Aiden O'Connell because they know Aiden O'Connell gave them the best opportunity to win. And we messed around and probably won some games we shouldn't and brought us down to the 13th pick when we probably, should have been way better. But Aiden O'Connell came and win some games. Now people hate Aiden O'Connell because we lost out on a high pick because the kid came in to play some games. Then the following year, again, you have 2 different offensive coordinators. So in the time he's been a rookie, he's had 6, now going on 7 offensive coordinators and 4 head coaches and still put up the numbers he has. And you're telling me he's garbage.
Numbers.
I don't.
So can I answer the question though?
Yeah.
So here's the answer for that. Because numbers lie. Because numbers lie.
Numbers don't lie.
Let me finish.
It's a golden rule. Numbers don't lie.
Finish. Figures lie and liars figures. First of all, he was 2-5, bro. At his best, he was 5-5.
Going back to 2-5.
Hold on.
But you said earlier the record didn't matter.
Okay, hold on. All right, so let's wipe all that away. Let's assume that AOC is elite, as you want to call him, or semi-elite, or trending to elite, or whatever the good level that you want to get him on, right? Whatever level you say he at, let's assume that's true. Coming into this season, AOC was the only quarterback on the roster. He was the only we got rid of Geno Smith. There is no Gardner Minshew. There is nobody but AOC. He's the only quarterback, right? So what do we do with this elite-ish, this elite trending, this accomplished quarterback? So what do? We bring in another quarterback and we draft one. So you're trying to tell me that Kubiak is dumb too?
Kubiak didn't know what he had. Kubiak didn't know what he had in the building. They were already going to draft him.
You don't think he knew who AOC is?
Yeah, I guarantee you he didn't watch that much film, but I know he did say he was impressed by AOC 3 times in 3 different meetings.
Of course he's going to say that.
I know you say he has to, right? He has to bring it up. You have to mention AOC when nobody else brought him in the comment, right? That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do as a head coach. You have to bring up the guy that nobody mentioned.
No, you include everybody. No, you just include everybody.
But the question he was asked is, how is the competition going?
So why the hell did they? Why did they get 2? Can you just answer my question? Why did they go get 2 quarterbacks? Because they didn't know who AOC was.
Because
he's the best kept secret right now, right?
Because you have a first overall pick, you need a quarterback. You go draft a quarterback. Who else were they?
Why we need a quarterback when we should have got a D tackle?
Who else were they going to draft?
A D tackle that everybody was crying about, since we already got an elite-ish proven quarterback that has these numbers and he's elite across the except for across the middle, but it was tip passes, and it's not really his fault. It's because the defense is weak and the O line was garbage, and Getsy and the
That's
six
usually what
offensive
happens to
coordinators. So
quarterbacks.
why didn't we spin AOC? Matter of fact, why is he third on the depth chart right now?
He's second. Matter of fact, he's running with the
Come
twos.
on, bro. You know damn well
He's
he
running
ain't
with the
third.
twos.
He third, right? You know he
He's
the
running
third
with the
best
twos.
quarterback. Is he better than Mendoza?
Right now, yes. Yes,
Is he better than Kirk
I
Cousins?
guarantee you, he has better pocket presence than
Is he
Mendoza. I
better than
guarantee
Kirk
you.
Cousins?
I feel yes, he's on the up, and Kirk Cousins is on the down. I feel like yes,
Wow,
he can.
you got it.
He's going into his fourth year. He's damn good at changing the plays at the line of scrimmage. He can read defenses. He's very decisive
He just can't
pre-snap
stay
read.
healthy.
He's very decisive pre-snap read. He has a very high um, time to throw in 2.67 seconds. That's only behind Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes the last 2 years.
Wow.
So
Now we're mentioning AOC
he
with
has a
Joe
quick
Burrow and
release.
Patrick Mahomes.
Now the only reason he is not out there is because they keep bringing in these systems that need a mobile quarterback that can roll out of the pocket, that can create plays on the run, right? That can play off script. But how many quarterbacks have won Super Bowls standing in a pocket and not being mobile guys compared to mobile guys, right? It's not even night and day. It's like 90% pocket passers that win Super Bowls. Now you keep bringing in systems where you want guys to be mobile, just like last year and just like this year. You want guys to roll around, to move out of the pocket, and he can do that. He can do that, but he's not a guy that's gonna pick up plays off a script. And we don't even know if Mendoza can do that at the next level, right? We've seen plenty of plays, if you watch his tape, where he panics in the pocket and takes sacks and looks like a deer in the headlights, not knowing which way to go. So yes, I think Mendoza has a long way to go before he can read defenses, pre-snap read, be decisive where he's going with the ball, play with timing and play right. Aiden O'Connell's already proved he can do that, is all I'm saying. Now, I'm not, again, never said this dude should be a starter for us, never said he's the future.
Why not?
All I'm saying is he's never gotten the opportunities with a good offensive line, with a solid run game, with a solid coaching staff to prove what he can do. Now, again, if you look at his record, that's only 7-10, you said it was, right? He is he is 6-1 when the Raiders rush for 100 yards or more.
That's great.
6-1.
I'm pretty sure most quarterbacks that have
and it would be 7-0 if it wasn't for the botch snap in Kansas City where he was trying to get the receiver set, and whatever happened, they hiked the ball. So the man could be 7-0 in his career when the Raiders rush for 100 yards.
But but Clint Kubiak don't.
I'm sure Clint Kubiak knows it. I'm sure that's why he said he's very impressed with Aiden O'Connell. I'm sure that's why he said
very impressed. If he was very impressed, why is he running with the threes?
So now Clint Kubiak's
why is he running with the threes then?
He's running with the twos. He's running with the twos.
Why he ain't running with the ones? Why he ain't running with the ones?
He is listed on the Raiders depth chart as number 2. He is running with the twos.
Why he ain't running with the ones then?
How do you know he won't be at the end of the year? He might by the time season starts. By the time season starts, he very well could be. If he keeps playing like he is right now. You telling me if you keep throwing three touchdowns in practice and your starting quarterback is throwing 1-1, that they're not going to look at it and be like, wait a minute,
Let's make a bet, bro.
Wait a minute.
Let's bet dinner, bro. Let's bet a dinner that AOC will not be no higher than 3 on the depth chart, bro. At the beginning of this season, if he's on this team. I'm just saying, let's bet dinner. It's a modest dinner, you know what I'm saying? Like the 3 for 25 deal.
I bet you dinner.
Or 2 for 25 or whatever it is. Something nice. Little Raider steak. We gotta get you a nice Raider steak. You feel me?
Some Arby's and shit.
No, we ain't gonna go that cheap with it. No, I ain't gonna do that like that, but it's like a little steak dinner or something.
Some Applebee's. Nice. Got you.
Yeah, I can do an Applebee's steak. I ain't gotta go to to the steakhouse.
Yeah, we can do that. I can get you a gift card.
Yeah, exactly. Because if we're gonna do that, I might as well just meet up with you and we go to dinner together. You feel me? If we're gonna spend bread like that. But let's bet that AOC will not be more than 3 on this depth chart this year. Like he's not. And he's going to get his opportunities in
Not be more
preseason.
than 3. You just said are we talking the whole season or to start the season?
No, to start the season, he will
Yeah.
not be higher than 3rd on the depth chart
All right.
after training camp.
Yeah, that's a bet. That's a bet.
That's a bet. Gotcha.
That's a bet.
Yeah, I like that. Like, I hate to sound
Now,
like I don't like AOC. I just
but
don't
I
see
know,
it.
but I'm saying is now with all that shit that's happened, right? With all the different coaches, with being shuffled around, because like I said, when a new coach comes in, you bring in your quarterback. Now, hopefully, these guys are true to their word, which you've already called Clint Kubiak a liar and said he
I
just,
didn't call him a liar.
you said he had to say that. You said
He does.
you say he's lying. I said Clint
No,
Kubiak said
he's saying the political correct thing to say.
But I say he's said he was very impressed with Aiden O'Connell 3 times, and you say he's lying. That was you said
No,
he's
you're
lying.
saying he's very well. Okay, I'm
But you did
saying
not
that
say
it's
he's
a
lying.
political correct thing to say.
No,
It's
it's
a
not.
political thing.
But
If you really think that
It's
they're
not.
not, they
It's
don't.
not. It's not.
Okay,
If you're
all right.
why
Well, Clint
if you're
Kubiak lied about that.
if
Yeah,
you're a third,
that's what I'm saying.
if you're a third string backup, why the hell you got to bring up his name when he wasn't the part of the
Confidence,
conversation?
confidence.
The question was, but if you're going to trade him like everybody says, or just
No,
release him or get
I
rid
don't
of
know
him,
that. I don't
everybody
know that.
seems to be that thing. Then why would you even bring it up? But why did Spytek bring it up when he was asked how is the competition going between Mendoza and Cousins? He said, first off, it's going pretty well. They're all competitive, but we have 3 guys in this building that are very competitive.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to say.
And I've been very impressed with Aiden O'Connell in the film room, the way he carries himself, the way he carries himself in the meetings, the way he carries himself in the building.
Every regime has said that about AOC. That's the reason why he's still a Raider. He's still a Raider because he prepares well. He's likable.
I watched Cleveland, Atlanta, Miami, the Giants, the Jets, New England, and I've never heard one of their coaches asked about their quarterback.
We ain't talking about them.
But I've never heard one of their coaches bring up a third string quarterback when he was asked.
Why? So if all these things are good about him, why won't nobody give him a chance? Why won't nobody give him a chance then? Why? If you got all these things going, why won't nobody give him a chance?
Because there's a new head coach every year, and nobody knows what they have in him. Nobody knows what they have.
Nobody knows it but you.
Until they get in the building. And they're going to find out. Watch. Kubiak, I'm sure, is already seeing.
I'm sorry.
And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It is what it is. Like, I really don't care who plays as long as we win. But I'm saying my whole point has been since Aiden O'Connell was drafted is his rookie year, he showed that he could be a guy to depend on and run this team. And then they put somebody in front of him. And then when that somebody failed, they put it on Aiden O'Connell. And he went in there and won some games. And then he got hurt. It's injury prone.
How do you rely on an injury prone quarterback?
But how is it injury prone? He got
because AOC is injury prone.
He broke his thumb and his wrist.
I don't care what the injury was. He injury prone. We've already established that. He's injury prone at this point.
Been hurt 3 times in 3 years. That's injury prone.
I'm not even going to differentiate what the injuries are. All I know is we can't rely on him to be a starting quarterback because he's injury prone. Just even on that alone makes him not a viable quarterback to go with. Like, now, can he go into camp and burn it up? Yeah, but you're going to have to do it with the ones, not throwing 3 touchdowns to receivers that ain't even going to see the field. Like, you got to throw it against the ones. But if they're hating on him and not letting him get the reps, which I doubt that's the situation, we'll see in camp. We'll see in camp because according to you, he's better than both of the quarterbacks we got on the roster at this point.
At this point, he's not. He doesn't have a better arm or more athletic than Mendoza, but he's way ahead when it comes to reading defenses, knowing the system, knowing the plays, what to expect. I believe all that, right? Decisiveness, knowing where you're going with the ball, pre-snap read. That's been Aiden O'Connell's strength. That's why he's been able to do what he's done, which you say are no stats, but that's why he's been able to put up the stats he has, is because he's damn good, right? He's not mobile, he's not athletic, but he still produces pretty solid ass numbers when he's out there on bad teams with no running games, with no receivers. I mean, when he had receivers, he looked great his rookie year, but then you lose Devontae Adams, right? You lose Hunter Renfrow, you lose Jacoby Myers, you lose all these guys. But then you have Trey Tucker. But look, Aiden O'Connell's been a leader since he's been here. He was out there his rookie year throwing with Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker. Then the following year they were out there, throwing in the summertime in the park and all that. And then they bring in Gardner. So I believe a lot of these players in the building respect Aiden O'Connell. And you have to go back and look at what Tom Brady says, right? He respects guys that have struggled, that have stuck around, that could have quit but didn't, that could have asked for a trade, right? So maybe, just maybe there's a chance that Tom Brady says, bro, I seen what this kid did when I was out there, and let's give him a shot. Let's give him a shot.
Well, yeah, they're gonna give him a shot. He's gonna get a shot. And you guys can say what you want, but if he can't stay on the field, all that stuff is null and void. If he can't stay on the field, if he's injury prone, it doesn't matter how good he is if he can't stay on the field. Like you guys, people that like AOC, and you can say he haven't had the chance. He's played every year that he's been here.
Is Joe Burrow
every year he's been here, he's played.
Do you think Joe Burrow's injury prone?
Is Joe Burrow injury prone? I would say no. I would say if I had to say yes or no, if he's injury prone, I would say no.
He's missed more games than he's played in the last 3 years. He's been hurt every single year of his career. So he's not injury prone.
So hold on before you go further. Then so are you telling me though? Then AOC is more reliable health wise? Not we ain't talking about play. We talking about health wise than Joe Burrow. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh no, I think they're both fragile as hell. It's like glass.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? Like I'll admit it. AOC's fragile. But that doesn't mean that he can't run.
Even if you tell me that he's been injured more in the last 3 years, then I would have to say I'm wrong. He's injury prone. Because then I would be like, okay, if he's been hurt the last 3 years, but going into the season, I don't see him. I know that he can play 17 games. I know Joe Burrow can play 17 games. I know that. I don't know that about AOC. That's why I don't put him in the same class, because none of y'all know that because we've never seen it. But we've seen Joe Burrow do it.
Yeah, but we've seen Joe Burrow get the opportunity to play 17 games. We haven't seen Aiden O'Connell.
And Aiden O'Connell been on the roster, bro. This fool was the only quarterback on the roster coming into this year, and we drafted 2 quarterbacks. So don't tell me he ain't had no opportunity.
He hasn't got an opportunity to play. They keep putting guys in front of him. That's why Gardner
he's not good enough.
No, that's not because he wasn't good enough. It's because of new coaching. It's because you bring in a new head coach.
Then. Yes. All right. So including Kubiak. So when you don't, so if he don't play this year, then what's the issue?
If he don't play this year,
tell me Kubiak didn't see it too.
He's gone. He's gonna be a backup.
he's already a backup. He's a third string backup.
This is the last year. Let him go out there and does what he does in preseason. We'll see. Maybe somebody trades for him. Maybe he starts. Maybe he plays. We don't know.
Maybe we'll see. But I know one thing. Y'all can feel how y'all want to feel about AOC, but the proof is that he has yet to play that many consecutive games or even close to it. He did half of that in his rookie season, which is good.
Oh boy, you're acting like he's a starter and he missed games in consecutive games.
No, I'm acting like he had his chance because he had his chance when Geno Smith got hurt.
No, he didn't have his chance when Geno Smith got hurt.
Okay.
Kenny Pickett played.
When did he come in the game?
Kenny Pickett played.
The year before that. When Gardner Minshew got hurt. When Gardner Minshew got hurt, AOC came in.
AOC came in. AOC got hurt. No, AOC came in against the Rams and he got injured in the first quarter, and they had to go with Ritter. They had
get injured.
They had to go with Ritter. He came in, and that's when he got
injured.
That's when he got his thumb or whatever, and he ended up missing 2 games or whatever the hell it was, a couple weeks because of the thumb. But then they went right back to Gardner Minshew, and then as soon as Aiden was ready, then they went back with Aiden as soon as he was. Oh, and then he got injured again because he got the knee bruise.
So
right
stop saying he didn't have an opportunity, because when Tom Brady, when Drew Bledsoe got injured one time, that was it for bro. It was a wrap for bro.
Yeah.
Bledsoe still played in the league after that, but it was a wrap for bro. Don't say that. Cano didn't have a chance when he came in, and then he got taken out because of
No.
injury.
It wasn't a wrap for Drew Bledsoe because actually his rookie year, he the rookie year for Tom Brady played one game because Drew Bledsoe got hurt and Tom Brady had to come in and play that game. And then Drew Bledsoe came in and played the rest of the season. It was the following year
Okay, I'm
that he took
wrong,
over.
but
So
he didn't stay. He didn't stay there. He didn't stay with that. He got his job taken by Tom Brady. I know that happened. And if he got his job taken by Tom Brady with one game,
well,
then
that was because of the Tuck rule. That was Tom Brady's claim to fame. It was because of the Tuck rule that Tom Brady got to stay in. That was his game. I think that was the only like the second game he played or first game he came in because Bledsoe was injured, and then the Tuck rule happened and Brady's claim to fame took off from there. But if it wasn't for
yeah,
the Tuck rule, he might still be sitting on the bench. We might not even know who Tom Brady
could
is.
be. But
He
all
came
I'm saying is
just
we
like
can't
Aiden
say he
O'Connell.
didn't.
Just like
I'm
Aiden
not.
O'Connell.
I'm not saying. All I'm saying is we can't say he didn't have a chance when the starter was hurt. He came on the field, started, and then got injured. That's his fault, not nobody's fault, but his. He got injured. Then he had the opportunity to do it again and got injured again. So let's not say he didn't have the
But
opportunity.
but
Let's
that
just,
happens
let's
all the
just say
time in the
let's
NBA.
just
That
hold
happens
on,
all
hold
the
on,
time.
hold on. Let's just say he hasn't had the opportunity in the right situation. If y'all want to say that, I'll let y'all have that. That's true. It's true. He haven't had the right chance and the right opportunity. I'll give y'all that.
But okay, but and when he did get his opportunity, it was
No, I see you going too far
an
now.
ass team. No, I'm saying, but on an ass team, right? It was on a very bad team, so bad that they fired their offensive coordinator
Well,
mid-season, went with
I don't know.
another offensive coordinator, fired their quarterback coach, fired their offensive line coach. It
I
was
don't
so
know what
bad.
y'all need.
And then you expect Aiden to come in and play after it's so bad that you fire
He
all these
should.
guys. You're like, here's your opportunity. And
Yeah.
you just said with
What do you think?
Mendoza,
What do
we
you
can't do
what do you
that.
think? What do you think Kirk Cousins is coming into? Kirk Cousins is coming into a new offensive coordinator, a new defense all together, a new offensive line, coming into a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm not gonna sit there and say, well, he's not gonna be good because he got all these things going on. I'm not gonna say that. It's an excuse. But okay, it's the truth. Y'all like to say it's the truth. Okay, it is the truth. But I'm not about to sit there and say, well, he's not going to play well this year because he got all these things going on. No, bro, you got to ball out, plain and simple, regardless what the situation is. As a competitor, you don't use that as an excuse.
All right, I want to keep that same energy when Kirk Cousins is playing like ass. I don't want to hear it's
Right.
because
And I'm going to say, get
the
rid of
offensive
him.
line is bad
And I'm going to say, he hit the wall.
or we should have went and got a number one receiver and we
Nope,
don't
I
have
ain't
that
saying
number
none of
one
that.
guy. Like
You won't
and,
hear none of that out of my mouth. None
and
of that.
same thing when Mendoza comes in. I just hope everybody keeps that same energy. When he comes in and struggles because he's not ready or he gets put in,
No, you won't hear that out of
early,
my mouth either.
that's cool. That's
Because
what I'm
that's why I
saying. As
said,
long as
don't
we
put
keep
him
that
in
same
right now.
energy.
That's what I'm saying. Don't put him in right now. I'm not even saying he's not ready. I'm saying the team is not ready. I'm not saying he's not ready. The team ain't ready.
Well, I mean, but we don't know that yet. I mean,
Because
this
because
team
if
could
we
be
because if
this
we
team could
let's
be
say if we only had
better.
him and Aiden O'Connell on the roster. Let's say it was only Mendoza and Aiden O'Connell. I would say throw Mendoza out there game one, regardless of what's going on. Plain and simple. Because he's better than AOC in my opinion. But second of all, because we don't have no other option. Because or we can put AOC in, just be ready to play by week 5. And if AOC don't get hurt and he put up these elite-ish numbers, then you sit behind him like you're going to do for Kirk Cousins. But AOC is not better than Kirk Cousins. AOC is not better than Mendoza.
Yep, they said he wasn't better than Gino or Garbage Minshew or Brian
Garbage
Hoy
ministry
or Brian Hoyer or Jimmy
because
G
he's not.
either. And he was. He
Uh,
took their jobs. He took
and
their
then when he
jobs.
got it, he couldn't hold it.
What you mean? He took their
Why didn't he
shit.
hold it then?
Hey, I'm gonna pull up one more thing.
Uh-huh.
Because I forgot about this one. We gotta go over this. So we just broke down, right? the shitty ass Aiden O'Connell. No, I was kidding. But we just broke.
No, I ain't gonna go that far. I ain't gonna do AOC like that. He's still
so,
a Raider.
so this is your boy Kirk Cousins. This is your boy Kirk
Cousin
Cousins, right?
Kurt.
This is your boy Kirky right here. So we'll start from the left side. Behind the line of scrimmage, average is 88.0. He is a 90.6, above average. Very nice. Middle of the field, behind the line of scrimmage. The average is a 89.9. Kirk Cousins is a 79.7. Struggles in the same place. Aiden O'Connell struggles. Left side, behind the line of scrimmage, average is a 89.9. Kirk Cousins is a 88.2. Pretty solid. The next, from the line of scrimmage to 10 yards. This is the only place where he's legit. From the line of scrimmage to 10 yards. So between 5 and 10 yards, Kirk Cousins is the GOAT, right? But then other than that, it gets rough. So we'll start from the left side, from the line of scrimmage to the 10-yard line. The league average is 87.7. Kirk Cousins is 110.7, right? That's elite right there. In the middle of the field, from line of scrimmage to 10 yards, he's the league average is a 90.5. He's 103.8. That's well above average. Pretty solid. Then on the left side line, from the line of scrimmage to 10 yards, he is league average is 90. He's 101.8. But then after 10 yards, we go to the right side from 10 to 20 yards. League average is 78.8. Your guy, Kirk Cousins, is a 55.6. Is a 55.6. That is 20 below league average. We get to the middle of the field. We get to the middle of the field, 10 to 20 yards. League average is a 85.7. Kirk Cousins is a 64.3. We get to the right side of the field, 10 to 20 yards. League average is a 84.9. He's a little bit above at a 90.4. Then we get to the right side of the field, over 20 yards, right side of the field. League average is 90.2. He's at 88.5. Pretty solid. Then the middle of the field, league average, I think, is 83.1. He's a 106. That's pretty elite. 20 yards above in the middle of the field. And then we get to the left side of the field, right? Over 20 yards, which is going to be a lot of Brock Bowers, Trey Tucker routes, right? League average is 79.2. He is a 63.5. So he is bad in 3 areas, just like Aiden O'Connell. But in 2 of those areas, he is way worse than Aiden O'Connell is in his bad areas. But you're telling me that you could still put in this guy at 38 years old, coming off an Achilles, and we're going to win games.
He's not coming off of Achilles.
Okay.
He already had
2 years removed from an Achilles.
But let me answer that question though. Yes, I'm going to put more faith in a guy that's won as many games as him versus a guy that's only won 7 games in the fucking NFL. We're talking about a guy that's won 7 games in the NFL.
But who is he won with, though?
And you comparing it to a guy that's thrown for 4,000 yards 7 times, more than the Raiders franchise. We out of all the quarterbacks we've ever had, we got 6. He has 7, and you want to tell me that a guy that got 7 wins in the NFL is better than this guy? Right? Well, y'all got it.
I'm not saying he's better. I'm saying one is 26, 7 years old and on the up, and the other one is 38 years old and is on the down. Is what I'm saying.
That's fine. I don't care.
And
I would take Phillip Rivers over over AOC. Right.
Phillip Rivers.
What do you mean? And I don't even like Phillip Rivers. If I had to play one game to get us in the playoffs and it was AOC and Phillip Rivers, I'm going with Phillip Rivers. I'm sorry. But y'all got it though. Y'all got y'all faith in the guy that got 7 wins. That's cool. Hey, y'all see something I don't. Y'all must know more about the quarterback position than I do because I don't see it. So I must be an old school throwback quarterback and I don't know the new game. So I'll concede to that. But what I do know is we're going to see where AOC is by the end of this camp. Mm-hmm. And if Kubiak see the same thing that everybody else is seeing, then I don't know what it is. Then they just hating on AOC, the whole world. You guys should get T-shirts that say AOC versus Everybody.
I
Matter of fact,
will make
we
those
should
right
make
now.
that. We should make that as a shirt right now, right?
AFC versus the world. I'll make those
Yeah,
right now.
right. I love it.
I don't know where the fuck my Google Docs went. Shout out to the people still in the building, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Over on Kick, on Facebook.
That's right.
We rocking on TikTok, um, Rumble.
Okay,
Shit, I think we everywhere. We everywhere. So shout out to the people rocking,
that's
enjoying the
what's up.
conversation. If you are enjoying it, cool. If you're not, then you know what to do.
All right,
But if you are enjoying it, man, hit the like button, show some love. We're on live
please
on
do.
both channels. You can pop back and forth. You can come to one channel, show some love, jump on the other one, show some love. It'll be
Right,
much
either way.
appreciated. Much appreciated. I'm over here sweating my ass off. I don't know why the AC went off. I'm gonna
All
die
right.
over here. I'm gonna die over here. It's nice and humid. Man, I'm looking for this damn Google Doc that I wanted to show, but is it in my browsing history? Where the flip is this? Damn it. All right. Well, I can't. Wait, maybe this one. All right. Well, we'll have to do that another time. But yeah, man, we've been going
I'll
shit.
always pull up. I'll always
Shit.
pull up again. You can come to
Yeah,
my
yeah, for
show
sure.
when we
Yeah,
can talk about it, whatever. It's good, you know. It doesn't matter.
yeah. So we'll definitely run this. I'm gonna make a T-shirt that says AOC the quarterback for me.
You can't do, bro, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's what I'm
Hey,
talking
hey,
about.
but you know, because as training camp goes on and the battle goes on, we're gonna hear some things about AOC. So that'll be the perfect time for us to go ahead and make it happen.
I mean, we've already been hearing things about him, right? You
No, I'm
put it.
talking about when they got pads on, when they really count.
Oh yeah, yeah. When the pads come on, shit, that's when he really gonna rise up and be even better. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
this man knows he knows how to study. He knows how to read defenses. He knows the AFC West better than Kirk Cousins, right? So I think
that could be true.
he's got a leg up, man. He's played, we're gonna play 6 games against our division, right? He knows that division better than anybody. He knows it better than Mendoza. He knows it better than Kirk Cousins. Well, I mean, anybody on our roster, right? He knows it better than anybody on our roster.
But
So,
that don't mean you could win games just because you
but he
played them.
has, but he's beat those teams. I'm saying he's
Man,
beat
he
those,
ain't beat.
but he's
He
beat
beat
those
the
teams with
third.
he's beat
He
them
didn't even
with
play Mahomes last time, bro. Come on,
he beat
stop
him.
it.
He did play Mahomes
And, th-
when he put up 340 yards and 2
and
touchdowns
they
in that game.
lost.
He
And they
he outplayed
lost.
he outplayed Mahomes in that
But they
shootout.
lost.
He outplayed Mahomes in that.
They
Okay.
lost, bro. They lost.
But now here we go. Now it's not a team
No,
sport.
I said
No,
what I
now he
said
lost.
was no.
No,
What I said
no,
was
no,
the
no. You
last
said
time
he
that he
lost.
beat them, he didn't
He
even play
he
Mahomes.
lost. Yo, he no.
Oh my
What do
gosh,
you mean?
bro! I
He did
said the
play. Oh
last
yeah,
time they played Kansas City, he
yeah.
didn't beat Mahomes. Mahomes wasn't even on the
Oh,
field, bro.
but he still went against
And then the two times
most.
they did win, he threw for 67 yards and 102 yards. And you telling me
But he's not playing it.
I should put my faith in a guy that beat Kansas City that thrown for a combined 168 yards for 2 games.
Yep,
Now you telling me
because you
I
give him
should?
credit. You give him credit when he loses, but you won't give him credit when he wins. That's pretty
No, I
shitty.
give him credit when he
I'm
wins,
just
but he
saying.
ain't won.
But he won. He was the starting quarterback. That's a victory.
All right, that's how y'all. That's how you want to look at it. That's cool. He did it.
Is it
So
not?
so so
Is
so
it not?
next time, so if you had a choice between Mendoza, Kirk Cousins, and AOC, why should put AOC in? Because even if he throws 67 yards, we still got a better chance to win than you guys do.
No, that's just crazy talk. You
Well,
still have
that's
to
what
have
he
a
did,
defense.
though.
You still have to have a defense in the run game.
That's what he did. He literally threw for 67 yards and won a game. And you telling me it's because of him?
Actually, the first drive he came down and got us in field goal range, and we kicked a field goal. I do believe so. And then the rest of the game was a run game. We got a lead because the defense got a sack and a fumble, and we went up 10-3. And then when you have a lead in
What
the
was that
NFL,
stuff that
hey,
was 67 yards?
wait. When you have a lead in the NFL against a Super Bowl contending team, what do? You run the clock. That's exactly what the Raiders do. So how can we fault the quarterback for doing what he was asked to do? He didn't turn the ball over and give the game away. He managed the game. He handed it off. He threw passes when he needed to, whether it was 68 yards or not. The point is that he was the quarterback and he didn't turn the ball over to cost us the game. And he put us in position to win, being the quarterback, whether it was handoffs or throws, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You can't
You,
blame him for not throwing the ball.
I'm
That's
not
that's
blaming
the,
him.
no, I'm saying that's the offense though, right? So right? So yeah,
I'm not blaming him. All I'm saying is I'm not putting no faith in a quarterback that I know that's going to throw 67 yards.
and I think that's been the problem is nobody has faith in this kid when every time he's been
You
called
got
on.
faith in the quarterback
You know,
that throw for 67 yards?
there's been plenty of quarterbacks that have thrown for
No, my
67
question
yards.
is you have faith in a quarterback that throw for 67 yards. That's my question. Nothing else.
Oh yeah, I do
Okay.
because you're a rookie. For one, you're going against a Super Bowl defending Super Bowl champions. Actually, they were the Kansas City won the Super Bowl that year. So you're going against the defending Super Bowl champions in their house. Like, I mean, come on, yeah. So yeah,
And you
I give
think
him credit for that.
67 yards will
He
get it
also
done every time or
you, you,
most of
al-
the times?
he also had a bad game in Minnesota where the offense scored 0 points, a goose egg. We lost 3-0. He had decent numbers, right? He had like 170 something yards, but they didn't score any points. But we got over the 50-yard line and got in position. We missed a couple field goals in that game too, I think. And then right, so he put up a goose egg, and then the next week he comes out against the Chargers and throws 4 touchdowns in the first half.
We'll see for president.
So
We'll
that's
see
what
for president.
so that's what
I
I'm
don't
saying
give
is
a damn. I don't care what you or the chat say. If y'all think that we can sustain winning games with a quarterback throwing for 120 yards or
but that's
whatever it
only that's
was
only one
the
game
first
though.
game, hold on, I'm just saying the first game and then 67 yards the second game, and you think that's the blueprint to beat and win our division and win multiple Super Bowls like the team that we're talking about, then I'm delusional. I'm delusional.
No, so
Delusional.
but what I'm saying is if you look at right, and I know you're gonna go crazy over this too, but this is the only thing we have to compare is a 17 game body of work. If you look
Can't
at a
do it.
17 body a game of work, you're talking about one game where he had 67 yards or 68 yards.
Super
But if, but
3,800
if you're
yards.
but if you look, yeah, if you look at the 17 game
Boy,
body of work, that's 3,800 yards
never,
with 22 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. That's
bro.
that's that's a solid body of work. But
I'll
again, you
bet you
can't.
$1,000 to $10 that Aiden O'Connell will never throw for 3,800 yards in one calendar season ever in his career,
Well, you
ever.
you'd have to be the starter to do that. So that'd be a
Ever. No,
dumbass bet.
bro, I don't, bro, he should find, so you tell me he can't find his way to be a starter if he got the capability to throw for
I,
3,800 yards?
I believe he does. I believe he does.
Tell me a
Now
quarterback on
will
the
he?
bench right now. Tell me
I
a
don't know.
quarterback on the bench right now that can throw for 3,800 yards. Any on any team, any backup quarterback that could throw for 3,800 yards if you started him.
Aiden O'Connell.
And who else? And who else?
uh, shit. I don't know. I think.
Just think about it, ponder it, because I'm about to make
I'm
a video. You can
I'm
react to it.
thinking. I'm thinking.
We can start reacting to each other
I
videos
don't
too.
know.
We can do
I
that
don't know.
too.
Maybe Marcus Tui out this. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Marcus Mariota. Like I don't know
Winning
who the
is not
backups
just
are.
winning, bro.
You could probably put up
Winning
3,800 yards on the right team. So
is not
I don't
just
know.
winning. You don't win by accident, bro.
Shout out to the $5 holler, my
And you
guy.
don't win by an inch either, bro.
It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. Just win, baby.
How
Facts.
many how
Doesn't
many
matter.
championships
It
have
doesn't
you
matter
won?
how you win or if you look good doing it.
How many championships? No, that's
It's how
true.
you
That's a
doing it.
true statement. That part is a true statement. If that's what you mean, it don't matter what it look like. I agree with that. But you can't go in the NFL thinking, "Oh, we're gonna win every game by an inch or most games," because that's what we do. That's what Denver doing.
Yeah, they might be bottom of the division this year. They had some easy schedules last year and some tight games that those fourth quarter comebacks can't be sustained forever. So we'll see what they do this year. That offense struggled drastically last year. Their defense was why they won games. Well, and Bo Nix's fourth quarter comebacks, but other than that, what do we have left? All right. We talked about Mendoza. I don't think we need to talk about Kirk Cousins' role in his future because I think we kind of went over that a little bit. Let's see, what's the last one? What else I got? Um, I think we already covered surprise cuts and trade candidates and roster battles. Shit, I think we about covered everything that I could think of. But yeah, man, I would love to see, I would love to see what this kid does. I'd like to see him get a chance. I just feel like, you
I
know,
say that
I'm
every
I'm
year.
I'm one of those dudes that roots for the underdogs. And
Me too.
when you see potential in guys, and then you see the opportunities that he's got, but then you're looking at the where he got them. Come on, man, just the things he's done and the things he's done in games with the personnel he's had around them and the personnel calling the plays. I just want to see what he can do with a legitimate offensive system, with a legitimate offensive coordinator, and a legitimate offensive line. And I
I'm,
believe AOC could be a damn good quarterback in the
they're gonna get
NFL
me paid this year.
when you have that around him. But he's never had those pieces around him. And you can look at the offensive lines we've had, the coaching we've had, and he's played pretty well on bad systems. Gardner Minshew didn't play pretty well. He played awful in the same system, right? Geno Smith didn't play pretty well. He played awful in the same system, right?
He played awful.
Jimmy G, Brian Hoyer, they didn't
Played,
play pretty well. They played awful in a Josh McDaniel system. But then AOC comes in
but these
and
people can get
and
jobs in
plays
AOC can.
and plays very, very well and wins a lot of games, more games than we won
So why
with
can't
Jimmy
AOC
G. And
start nowhere?
we talked about this. It's
He's a
coaches,
career
coaching.
backup, man.
Well,
Everybody knows he's a career backup, bro.
that's well because he's
He's
been a
not a
career
starter,
backup.
bro.
Because he's been a career backup.
No, because that's what
That's
his
what he's
talent
been.
level says.
That's not what his talent level says.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because he's the only backup that can throw for 38 right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm a root for him though. I'm about to as of right
You
now
should
though.
be. You should be. He's a Raider. He was a
As of
drafted a Raider.
no,
I
no,
can't believe the
as
hate.
of
I can't believe the hate. Not you, but I can't believe the hate for a lot of nation. A lot of the nation on Aiden O'Connell. The kid was drafted a Raider, bro. He went out thrown into a
so
fire. Did what he could. Like dudes come back off of 2 injuries quicker than he should have. Right? He's beat the Chiefs twice, whether it was him or not. Could have been 3 times if it wasn't for miscommunication on the sidelines, bad game clock management, and offensive players that admitted they hiked the ball and they thought they were ready. Parham both said, and JPJ said, it was our fault. We thought they was ready. He tapped me. I hiked the ball, and he wasn't ready. So it was a three-way miscommunication. But the whole thing was just bad clock management. We were already ahead. We were going down the drive, and we could have just spiked the ball and kicked the damn field goal there. We didn't even have to run that play. So yeah, could be 3-0 against them. He's beat the Broncos twice in his career.
he's 2-2 against Kansas City.
2-2 against Kansas City. He's
So
beat
he'd
the
have been
Broncos.
3-1.
He beat the Broncos. Yeah, so he'd be 3-1 if it wasn't for that debacle when he literally
But he's responsible for
when he
that.
literally played better than the
So
quarterback on
wait a
the other
minute.
side of
So
him.
wait, he was the quarterback. He get credit when he throws 67 yards, right? In 120 yards or whatever, he get credit for that. But then when they snap the ball and they lose the game, that ain't because of him. It's all of their fault.
It should be everybody's fault. It should be everybody's
Okay.
fault, but it should be the quarterback's fault too. But my question was, when you have a headset on, right, and your plays are called in the headset, why is he looking over there after he's already stepped
He
up,
was looking at the wide receiver,
he
man.
already stepped up, he changed everything, he made his play, and then he went
He
up
wasn't looking at the
and
sideline. He was
and
looking at the wide receiver that
he,
was still moving.
but if you look at their cadence, it's a hand clap and then he lifts his foot and stomps.
Bro,
He
I
he
don't care
clapped
what he did.
he clapped once and then looked to the sideline and they snapped the ball.
He didn't look at the sideline. He was looking at the receiver still moving.
The sideline was at the receiver was on the sideline. He was
He
down
was
the line of
running towards
scrimmage.
the sideline.
So he's there. He's turned and looked his head.
No, you making it seem like he's looking at a
No,
coach or something. He wasn't looking at
that's
no
what
coach.
that's what it seemed like. That's what it seemed
No,
like.
but he wasn't.
He was turning to look at a coach.
No, he was looking at the receiver still moving because he realized he called for the ball,
All right,
and then the receiver was still moving. That's why you think the flags went up.
We'll have to bring this up and pull it up and
First
talk
of
about
all,
it.
it don't matter what
Next time.
happened here. He should be making no hand signals if the receiver's still lining up.
When you put guys in motion, yeah, that's the receiver's fault
He
for not
wasn't in
knowing
motion.
where
He
to
was
be.
running to. He
But
wasn't
how
in
is
motion.
that not the receiver's fault not knowing where to be?
He had to get to the. He got to get to his. It's the quarterback's position to
I think
wait to the because
I think you got the
because
play
you
wrong.
not
I
only
think you
does
got
that
the
wide
play
receiver
wrong.
got to get to the position, he got to declare himself to the line judge or the line ref. You don't have to do it, but you do that to clear yourself to make sure you're not offside. They was in such a rush. He didn't have the experience to slow himself down to find that patience to make sure that happened. I understood he was rushing himself because he wanted to hurry up and kill the play or whatever that stupid play they was trying to run or whatever. I get it. That's him being young in the game. I don't even fault him for that because that kind of stuff just happens. But to sit there and act like he's not the reason behind that's happening, that's not fair. That's not fair either. So it's cool though. Like I said, I'm not really I'm not really trying to bash on AOC like that, but y'all is overestimating him, and we keep saying kick the tires and see
Or
what he
you
got.
or
And
you're
then when we put him in
underestimating
a
him.
game, when we put him in a game, we don't want to look at the results for what they actually are. We keep saying, well, what if we put him in this situation? Okay, wait a minute, but let's put him in this situation. Okay, cool.
You keep
So
moving
now
the
we got the
goalposts.
best situation that we ever had.
You
Not, I
keep
won't
moving
say
the
ever, but the
goalposts.
best situation in the longest of time. And if it don't pan out this year, the way y'all talking is more because I'm more accurate than what y'all talking about. It's because he's not as good as y'all think he is. If he goes through this Clint Kubiak system and he don't get his opportunity, it's not because everybody hating on him.
No, yeah, you're right. If he goes through it and don't get an opportunity, then obviously Kirk Cousins was the better guy or Mendoza was the better guy. But that's a big if. That's a big if. But let's play this up. Let's play this. All right, because we could talk about it all day, but I'm coming from the land. Don't talk about it. Be about it. So let's look at it. It's Aiden O'Connell. Wait,
Hold on. Wait a minute.
whoa, where
Wait,
did he call
wait,
for the
man.
ball? Where did he call for the
Just
ball?
wait. First of
Where?
all,
Where?
just wait. First of all, why you
Where?
can't see you can't even see the receiver running out to the left.
It doesn't matter. The receiver doesn't
It
matter.
does matter. You
He never called for the ball.
all 22. Go to the all
He never called
22.
for the
Do
ball.
you have all 22?
I do, but I'm not gonna go search for where the play was. I don't. It's the end of the
Oh, okay.
game of
All
what
right.
game though?
I got
Of
you.
what game?
You right. He didn't call for the ball.
Well, we'll break it up.
So I
But
was wrong. He
where,
didn't call for the ball
where
then.
did he call for the ball?
It's because look where it's edited at.
But it's not edited. It
It
doesn't
is
matter where.
edited.
No,
It
it
is
doesn't matter
edited.
where it's edited. It
No, it
matters.
does matter where it's edited, bro.
It
Come on,
matters
you should know
because
better than
it
that.
matters
And
because you're saying
you over here with AP, bro. Come on, bro. You know AP don't know what he's talking about.
you're
But
saying
it
it was
being
his
edited
fault.
does matter, bro. Because you don't see the left guard touch the center either, do you?
There
Do
was
you see the
no.
left guard touch the center?
He's still
No,
looking.
wait. Do you see? Show me where the left guard touched the center then, because then that
Okay, then
never
that's on
happened
JP.
either.
That's on JPJ. You're right. That never happened. That's
No,
on
no,
JPJ.
the left guard. No, we know the left guard touched the center, so the center to snap it, but we don't see it on this video because it's edited.
All right, let's go find it then. We'll go find it then. All 22.
It does matter because the left guard has to be looking back at the quarterback to even make the decision when to snap it.
Not that. This one. NFL Pro.
No, I know he turned, but not on that video. We didn't see it. Yeah, I think my camera went out, bro.
Oh, shit, your battery died.
Yeah, the battery
Didn't-
dying. I don't know why my battery
didn't-
dying now.
Didn't that happen last? Is it a new camera?
Nah, it's not new, but it's plugged up, so it shouldn't be going dead. But I don't know.
But there's
I'm gonna look into it though.
There's a setting on the. There should be a setting on your camera that says.
Oh yeah, I might have reset that.
The auto shut off or whatever. It might be like
I'm gonna check that. You're right.
a certain time.
You're right.
Why am I not signed into NFL Network? What's going on? Explore film room. There we go. There we go. All right. What year was this? 2000. It was 24. It was last year, right? 2 years ago. 2024. Anybody know what week it was? Let's go with all. The game is. I don't want to go with all games. We'll go to regular season. All right, we'll do it like this. Oh shit! I gotta go to Raiders first. Select team. All right, so Raiders week. Anybody know what week that was? I don't have my phone on me to look it up.
I'll look it up. Hold on. What year was it? 2024?
2024 in Kansas City.
Okay, 1 second.
It was the second game, right?
It was the game in November. Let me see. November 2024.
November 2024. Fuck, what week would that
Yeah,
be?
November 29th, it looks like.
29th. Does it say what week? I want to say like week 13, 12. No, that would November would be way before that. It'd be like week 9 or something, right?
Week 13.
Week 13.
Yeah.
Yep, Kansas City Chiefs. All right, we need to go all the way down to the last plays of the game. Shotgun Aiden O'Connell fumble. Boom! That was quick, bro. I'm like a G. When it comes to that shit. Hold up. I want to get both views. Let me get sideline and end zone. Close. All right, I should be ready. Oh, I wasn't ready. Film room, all pro, share, bada bow, bada bing. Let's see if I can get it a little better. All right, so here we have, as much as it'll let me zoom in. Wait, let me try this. Because it's got to be a better view. Oh, that's not a better view. Man, that's shitty. It usually helps if you record this first, but that's all right. All right, so we're gonna go both views, and I'm about to play it sometime. That's what you're gonna be like. All right, here we go. Okay, that's fast motion. Can I slow it down? Damn. I can't believe I'm watching this again. Bring tears to my eyes.
I know, right?
You're gonna make me cry and sit on
And I
TV.
really wanted to win this game. Don't get me wrong, but when I knew was going bad when we ran that play when he was running and he threw it out of bounds, like to kill the clock, like that was dumb. Like I already knew we was starting to do stupid stuff right there.
What the fuck is going on?
It's about the thing is about flow. Like the game is about certain rhythms, and when you disrupt that rhythm, things like this happen. Especially when you the Raiders.
Are you gonna give me the damn end zone view? What the hell is going on?
You know, and you know if you was sitting there by yourself, it'll work perfect. You know that?
Yeah, what the fuck is? Let's go full screen. It's not gonna show me the end zone view. That's some bullshit. Of course. Let's exit out of this one. Oh, damn it. Well, all right. Yeah. We're gonna have to
We'll pick up where we left off on
yeah,
that one.
yeah, we're gonna have to edit that and oh shit.
This clip was good.
I thought I just closed us out. That was close. But yeah, man. So but yeah, you know what I mean? Like that video didn't show Dylan Parham at all. And we both know, and I'm sure everybody in this chat knows that all season long, because I bitched about it all season long. I was like, why the hell are we telling the defense when we're snapping the ball? Like you constantly you reach over there, you tap his leg, they're already jumping, man. They're already moving. And it happened all season long. So I was pissed when they,
Yeah, I
you
didn't
know,
like that too
I
either.
was like, bro, why, why if your center is not good enough to look between his legs to or to hear the damn cadence, then yeah, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. I was
Well, that's not necessarily for the court. It's not necessarily for the center. It's a combination of both, but primarily for the quarterback's rhythm.
yeah. But yeah, that's a huge problem though. If you got I don't know what's going on. My microphone keeps tripping on me. Parham got paid, but AOC is garbage. Facts, right? How's that work out? Uh, yeah, Parham got paid, man. Shout out to Parham over there. Let's see what he does, right? Because I felt like he was a way better offensive lineman than we were giving him credit for. He has some, has some of those games where he was looking like him, and then he has some of those games where he was like, "Oh man, why? How you even out here?"
My bad.
Nah, you
Mom
good.
didn't say calls.
But yeah, man, shit, 3 hours. That's a pretty.
Yeah, that's a heck of a show, man. I really appreciate you having me on, man.
Shout out to the 18 people in the chat, still rocking strong. I appreciate every one of y'all. Y'all make
We'll
sure.
keep it up. We'll for sure do this again.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. I'll pop on yours next time, or whatever.
Either way.
But yeah, whenever you see me in the chat, man, just hit me up. Hit me up a link. Sometimes I'll pop in, sometimes I can't. But usually when it's late at night, everybody trying to sleep, I have to go outside and be quiet.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I got you.
But
No, that's all good.
other than that, though, I'll pull up shit anytime. I'm all about talking football 24/7 if I could.
Man, we both been to combined. We've been Raider fans for 100 years combined. So it's all love,
Yeah,
bro.
shit. That's
I
we,
was
we
born into this thing, bro. I ain't had no choice, man. I mean, I'm from Oakland. I grew up like looking at the Coliseum every day from my bedroom window, like
Oh
every
shit.
day.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I grew up on 71st Avenue where the stadium is on. Like I walk my
Mhm.
church is like literally right there. And I'll be at church and you can hear the fans going crazy and we trying to hurry up and get out of church. Like that's how
Right.
close it is. So
Right. You're
I
like,
love
why
the
is church
Raiders.
not over?
I know, right? I love the Raiders. I love Raider fans, and really, that's where all this passion come from. And you know, shout out to everybody that are Raider fans or Raiders.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, we might have to, have to make this a routine thing and call it 100 years of Raider 100
I
years of
know,
Raider
right?
history, right? 100 years of
Right.
Raider
It's for the
history.
OGs. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah. But right on, man. Let everybody know where they can find you, where they at, what's going on, what you got coming up, all that good stuff.
Oh yeah. It's Business Decision Sports, BIZNESS Decision Sports. Like town business. And I don't know. I got videos coming up. I'm trying to go live every chance I get, and I think my next video for sure is going to be about that and how Kulak has, progressed those
Yeah.
O lines and when it.
Oh shit. Lost them completely. Well, um, Shout out to my guy, Black, the quarterback, coming in talking football. Right, we love the back and forth. We love to not agree. Oh, he's back. Sweet. Let him come close out. You good?
That was it. Yeah, that was it. That's I'm looking forward to getting that video out and yeah, you guys just subscribe and let me know what y'all want to talk about or tell me what I'm tripping on and we can go back and forth and have a healthy debate. You feel me? Like we do at the tailgates, like tailgate talk.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. That's what it should all be. Tailgate talk. No,
Yeah,
no, no feelings. No, nobody getting butt hurt. Right? Just
exactly.
football conversation. Everybody should have an opinion, and everybody's opinion should be voiced. You don't have to agree with it, but you don't have to hate on it either.
Exactly.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, it's been good. Appreciate you. 3 hours and 20 minutes. That's a long, long live, but
It's all
we
good, brother.
we
Appreciate
done we done much more. I appreciate you coming on this long and sharing your knowledge and talking football with us.
it. That's right. Don't forget though, I'm gonna write it out.
I'm all right. Peace, my brother.
Peace.
All right, man. Appreciate everybody that made it through. If there's anybody on Facebook, if there's anybody on Kick or Twitter or X or TikTok or all those good things that we are on. And if you're not on any of those things, do me a solid. Do me a solid. Jump over there, give us a subscribe, right? Leave a comment after this video, share it out, like, subscribe, tickle the noti, man. Appreciate everybody rocking with us. 18 deep. I hate jumping off when there's 18 people in the building, but 3 hours, 3.5 hours of football talk. My eyes are literally watering, and I have to pee so bad I'm gonna explode. So I love y'all. Appreciate everybody coming here. Appreciate my mods modding. Appreciate the people that gifted, the people that liked, the people that subscribed, and the ones that shared it out. Y'all real OGs. And next week we're gonna do the giveaway. We hit 2,000, so a giveaway of your choice. It could be Mendoza, it could be Brock, it could be Howie Long, it could be Tim Brown, it could be Marcus Allen, it could be Jamarcus Russell. I don't know, whatever you want. But shout out to everybody. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel because when we do the giveaway, if you're not live and you're not subscribed, then you are not even eligible, right? So protect yourself, your loved ones, your mind, and your family, and always your team. Just win, baby. Ray.